YouTube too. Okay, so that should actually start this streaming to the new
There's
Rumble.
some screaming going on.
Hey, look at that. We're live on the backup channel. And I think
Let's
that
go.
Boom, we're back on YouTube. We're just on out of focus clips too. And this way here, Richard doesn't have to re-edit it and put it back up. So
Nice.
Let me see here. So now I have to somehow find this thing. And I can get to the ad here. We have one live stream. Oh, that's not correct. Let me upload the thumbnail, download. Sorry, guys, this is taking a little bit longer, but I am doing this all by myself with no producer, no one here to help me.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
All right, our propaganda is the best propaganda. No, what did I title the stream?
Rage Bait Propaganda Wakanda. That was the original title.
Maybe that's what got you banned.
Wakanda.
Propaganda.
Oh.
Or that, yeah.
Rage Bait Propaganda Wagunda.
Part 2 Electric Boogaloo.
There we go.
No,
Rage
don't say
Bait.
that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. They'd be upset about that too.
Gosh dang it.
We're done with the electric tanks.
No more electric tanks. We're putting lead back in the bullets just to spite everyone.
Putting glue. Gosh dang it. Come on. Apparently YouTube is rage baiting me.
Damn.
There we go. Finally fixed the title. Okay.
Thank
so
God.
now we are actually live on the second channel, and now I have to take that and then post that to the first channel so that people can see. All right, so we are live there.
Spaghetti code and virtual duct tape holding the string together right now.
We're so create post.
We are a well-oiled machine here.
Yes.
I'm just gonna start stream sleeping since I was doing the VC anyway.
Hey, nothing changed.
You are good at that.
Nothing. I consult the graph. Nothing ever happens.
Nothing ever happens.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna finish my drive home before we really get into it. It'll be perfect.
All right. Right. Okay. Hey, we're back. All right. So now, so an axe to grind for $2 says, "Thanks, dudes, for the dignified opening message." 07. Totally, sir. It's the least we can do since we are just kind of not doing too much. Okay, so we already have people back on YouTube. We already have people back on Rumble. I think we're gonna be okay. Get out of there.
Are we going to be able to see the new YouTube chat in?
I don't know if it's going to connect everything.
Yeah,
it's
pulling it up.
It's loading. It's loading because it's not showing up on YouTube either, but it is here in Rumble. So I see everybody on Rumble. DD214, bro, great on topic, says YouTube strikes again. Thank you very much for the $2. Appreciate it, sir. This is actually just part of our Rumble propaganda, is that we are incentivizing everyone to come over here and watch on the second or on Rumble for our deal for Rumble, right?
Yeah, you're going to pull a Steven Crowder.
That's right. Pull everybody over there. So I will post both the YouTube and the Rumble in Discord. Do I watch both streams? Yes, you do, Shadow Force. Appreciate it.
There you go. Hey. Double the money.
Bro, they almost did it. And I also see, I don't see the live stream chat in the creator dashboard, but I do see it if I'm actually on the YouTube page. So it is here. So I have both of them up. Okay. I have both the Rumble and YouTube up. All right. So yes, so this allegedly was a AAC jacket separation that gave this guy Suppressor a brand new hole. It, just a little trans affirming surgery on the Suppressor, and that will cost you $200 plus a new can, plus a waiting period, plus warranty work. So congratulations.
What's the shame?
I don't know. I see this as an absolute win because flow-through cans are usually pretty expensive.
Flow-through cans are all the rage right now. So this isn't a bug. This is a feature.
Wait. Life hack. Can you just drill holes in the end of your suppressor to make it a flow-through?
Yes, you can. Well, actually, technically, there's some weird law about it being illegal to do stuff. to your
Big
suppressor,
flow
like
through doesn't want you to know this.
like
Yeah,
change
big
length
flow.
or modify. So that's something you might want to be careful about. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure about how that would work.
Fair. I mean, this
Big
is not
Cam
legal
doesn't
advice.
want you-
Yeah, big flow through wants to charge you more for less suppressor.
Yeah, they just it's all a psyop.
Big More wants to sell you more less.
Yeah,
Something like
minimalism is there to buy big less
All
to
right.
sell you more.
Well, so how about this? This one's funny to me. So, well, I shouldn't say funny. Maybe funny is too strong of a word. But
Hilarious.
there's a U-turn, a big old U-turn that happened here with this case from last September. So let's read this. This story changes really fast though. So this is the original post in September, and then we'll look to what the defense decided to go with in this case, which I think is quite funny. So
Is that the
guy-
dude that got shot or the dude
That
that
guy-
shot the guy?
Very red.
that
Oh,
is the dude
cow.
who shot the dude.
If they end
Wow.
up banning Red 40, that guy's gonna have to flee the country.
Gonna go through withdrawal.
He
Oh,
is
bro,
the Red
that's
40.
amazing.
He is the source of it.
Yeah. Well, he's the reason they have to keep it locked up. Jeez.
Just the reporting.
This is the arrest affidavit. Teen shot in face by Jeffco homeowner may have bullet fragment in head. Denver 7 began following this story on Wednesday when Jefferson County Sheriff's Office released initial information about the case and arrest of a 38-year-old man. Pictured. Jefferson County, Colorado, doctors believe a teen who was shot by a Jefferson County homeowner after allegedly trespassing may have a bullet fragment in his head. That's what happens when you get shot in the head, according to the arrest affidavit obtained by Denver 7. So that just reiterates Metz. So the person, number 38, is Brent John Metz. Metz faces charges of first-degree assault, 2 counts of menacing.
Well, he is very red.
Bro, I need that SpongeBob meme where it's like he's standing there.
Menacingly.
2 counts of menacing, illegal discharge of a firearm. This is important for later, and 2 counts of reckless endangerment. A judge set his bond at $5,000.
Nice.
All right,
Which is
fair.
Which is like nothing.
So this guy, hold on, just to recap, this guy, somebody broke into his house, he shot him, and
It's
are
not
we getting
quite.
there?
Not quite.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Metz is a member of the Mountain View Town Council, and he owns a home in Mountain View. 2 teen boys involved have not been named as they are juveniles. So these are teens in the colloquial version of teens. According to the arrest affidavit, which obtained on Thursday morning, the first Jefferson County deputy arrived on the scene around 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday. He was responding to a report of 2 unknown individuals trespassing and walking around private property. The deputy noticed a white Audi S4 parked just south of the driveway on the east side of the road. A black GMC Sierra was facing the same direction and was pulled up to the passenger side of the Audi. The deputy saw that a 17-year-old boy was bleeding heavily from his face and had blood running down his arms, according to the affidavit and the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. The deputy began talking with one of the teens about what had happened, and they responded that he had been looking for a place to take pictures and that Brent came up and shot him. The document reads. The deputy... Yeah, apparently that's the reasoning that they're going with. The deputy noted an apparent bullet hole in the Audi's windshield, according to the affidavit. The deputy then approached Metz, who was at the scene and is the homeowner of the property, and asked him if he had shot a gun. Metz stated that he wanted to speak to his lawyer. Correct answer. He said a gun was inside the GMC truck. The deputy then handcuffed Metz and put him in the backseat of the patrol car. The deputy asked one of the teens, not clear which one, to explain in greater detail what had happened. He responded that they had parked in front of the gate. The sheriff's office reported that the teens jumped the fence. Then they walked up the driveways to see if they could take photos of the property. Do not do that. Do not ever do that. That is a recipe for getting shot. Whether or not this was a justified shoot, which we'll get into, do not ever hop somebody's fence and approach their property to take pictures. Bad idea, bro.
Trespassing is never a good idea.
Not a good idea.
If you're hopping a locked fence, they probably don't want you in there.
So, when no one answered the door, they returned to their car and were going to write a note to the homeowner for their permission. So they jumped the fence to go ask for permission to go on the property. That's their claim.
Nice.
And the document continues that when the truck pulled up, the GMC, and the driver got out and she shot them. And the teen did say that Metz tried to help them after the shooting. So the gentleman who did the shooting also tried to help the guy who got shot. And ambulance transported the teen to the hospital. Doctor told that he believed a fragment of the bullet was in the teen's head, or at least he got a grazing shot. It's probably the best way to, or one of the only ways to get shot in the head without dying. All right, grown up each other, decided to place. So their whole thing was that they wanted to go onto the property, go onto the guy's dock. So this is probably a really nice property, and take photos for homecoming. That was their reasoning for this. Now that all sounds like a pretty standard trespassing gone wrong when confronted by the homeowner, right? And this happened in September of last year. However, the defense, which is not good. So this was a combination of two things. The teens were doing something bad, and then the homeowner had a bad shoot because allegedly the kid got shot while inside of his car. So not doing anything aggressive while inside. That would have been
at that point. They would have been back outside of the gate, off
they
the
are
property.
Outside of the gate, sitting in the car. Regardless, even if they were running into the car to get away, whatever the situation, they are not an active threat. They're running away. They're getting in their car. You cannot just go up to them and shoot them, right? Even if they were doing something illegal.
I thought this was America.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even on his property at that point.
Yeah,
know, so
I was going to say it's not even his property anymore, unless they were parked on his property or something.
Actually, dude, I need to get that. This is essentially what happened. Let me see if I can pull this up real fast. Our assassination. Darn it. I was hoping this would pop it up real fast. But it's essentially, the one where Lucas from T-Rex Arms, he just walks up to the car nonchalantly, but he has a gun in his hand, and then he shoots all the targets inside of the car. That's essentially what happened here, basically. I couldn't find it really fast, but it's not worth digging into.
Average Chicago day.
Basically. Yeah. But
hey guys, how you
fast
doing?
forward. Okay, so that's the framing. That's the background information on this case. Fast forward to now, and the defense for this case. Defense for Colorado man accused of shooting teenager, and notice he is still just as red as he was. The defense for a Colorado man accused of shooting a 17-year-old in the face last September plans to put the onus on the weapon he used.
I swear if it's a Sig 320.
Oh my goodness! Please tell me it's a Sig. Please.
If it's just a Sig gun in general, that's just...
Here we go, guys. Here we go. So
brother.
He's absolutely sorry for what happened. It was a complete mistake. It was an unintentional firing of his weapon, said defense attorney David Jones. Jones and co-counsel Chris Decker plan to make the case that the weapon used by Brent Metz in the shooting along Pleasant Park Road in Conifer was faulty and misfired. The teen survived. Uh-oh.
What's the gun?
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We got him.
A second
Can't
Sig
make this up.
ND.
Well.
So
it NDs today and tomorrow.
It NDs at the worst time possible, maybe even during a home invasion. The
Of
facts,
course
as
it's
we
a
understand them, are as he was drawing it from his truck to place it on his hip, as he was turning, the weapon went off.
This guy obviously failed ND November.
That's
bro.
No ND November. Challenge impossible.
Sig edition.
Metz is very familiar with weapons and regularly carries, said the attorneys. He's
That
been
doesn't necessarily mean you're familiar, but whatever.
No, I know. This is funny. He's been a concealed weapon carrying permit holder for 18 years, and he's got extensive experience with firearms, said Jones.
Any idiot can get a concealed weapons permit. It's not that hard.
The defense blames the functioning of the Sig Sauer P320 that Metz used. There are a number of circumstances well documented where these weapons are going off without the intent or physical interaction of the person holding it, said Decker. Should there be responsibility? Absolutely. And we feel that should fall on Sig Sauer. Now, this is just one of those funny cases where, guess what? It's probably not Sig's fault. The guy was
More than
probably
likely
very the guy was probably very angry, got his gun out, and did pull a round off, even if he didn't mean to. But then 6 months later, 8 months later, whatever it happens to be, the defense is like, what are we going to say for our defense? What can we possibly say? And then they watch, they watch Protraband, they see all these memes coming out, and they're like, wait, what gun did our client use? It's a 320? It's a 320? And then they're
We got him.
And they're like, listen, Judge, our client did not shoot these gentlemen. Sig Sauer did.
Exactly.
Here, we can prove
if it was a Glock, it'd be 100% on him. But because it just had to be a 320, there's some actual plausibility to their case.
I think this is one of those areas where Sig is screwed, because this probably isn't their fault, but it is so funny that defense attorneys are now using it in like a real trial, that they're saying, nope, our guy, he's innocent. He didn't shoot them. Ron Cohen did.
See, if they would have just come out and cooperated earlier on, they probably wouldn't be facing these kinds of things.
100%.
This is, I think, it is just them taking advantage of the fact that it was a 320 to try and get this guy off the hook. But at the same time, I think Sig kind of did this to themselves, because people are going to exploit known issues like that. Yeah, it's a bad situation. Super funny though.
I just think it's funny. It wouldn't be a problem.
On a more serious note, say that he does get absolved of this, and they do go with it and say, yeah, it was Sig that caused the ND. Depending on what state he lives in, he can still catch felony charges for pointing a loaded weapon at someone.
So that's why the defense is worded the way that it is, because they're saying that as he was getting the gun out to put it on his hip, like to put the holster in his pants or whatever it may be, that's when it went off. So that's what they're going with. So they're saying they might even try and say that it was in the holster when it went off.
Yeah. Okay. I guess. But it would have. I guess unless they're saying it ricocheted off something, because he still would have had to have pointed at the vehicle, right?
It doesn't. They don't really go into more details with it. So they go into basically all the generic things. They're saying, hey, Sig has lost XYZ trial. We've seen it on camera. They pre-2019, they weren't drop safe. So they're saying that it's this P320 and not our guy. So you can kind of see why it's a little sketchy, right? Because the victims, they're in the car. After they retreat from the house, after not getting in, then Metz blocks them in and gets out and shoots the guy in the head, right? Almost like an execution. But then the retroactively, they're like, actually, he never pulled the trigger. And as he was getting out of his car on the driver's side, look at that. It's on the opposite side from them, right? So as he's getting out of the car, somehow the bullet loops around his hood through the windshield and hits the guy in the head.
Yeah, that's where it's like, you could still say that, yes, he let's say, he didn't pull the trigger, right? But he still would have had to have taken the gun and at least pointed it, while maybe before he put it in his holster or whatever, at the vehicle. Unless they're going to try to claim that it hit the ground or hit his vehicle and bounced and ricocheted, which is just insanity.
Here's what the teens say. But again, you can't really believe the teens either, because they were probably up to no good. So the teens say that before it went off, firing a bullet through the windshield. The affidavit shows the other teenager in the car told the arriving deputy that Metz got out and walked towards their car. He pulled a handgun from his holster and pointed it towards them, the teenager said, before it went off, firing a bullet through the windshield and into his companion's face. The 15-year-old said that he heard Metz exclaim, "Oh, blank, my gun went off." So that is from the kid.
Interesting.
So, and that's at the scene of the crime. So he's saying, so what probably happened is the guy did point the gun at the kids, obviously. Obviously, that is what happened, right? That just makes the most logical sense. Not some sort of magical warp loop-de-loop. The guy definitely pointed the gun at the kids. And then he either did pull the trigger and didn't mean to, or this is the most unlucky case in the world for Sig Sauer. And he didn't mean to pull the trigger, and the bullet came out of the gun.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of thinking that Sig might have something to do with this. I don't know. It sounded more and more like the truth is coming out.
That's true.
This is going to go to a jury trial to determine whether or not a P320 can go off on its own, which, it can, allegedly, but that's
Big Sig is about to get on the side of the prosecutors on this one.
The issue is we can't 100% say.
No, I know. That's the fucked up part.
It's like 99, but there's a little bit of a chance.
There's a chance that it might be Sig's fault, but I think the most likely option is that Sig's just a little stupid.
Well, I think all you have to do is prove there's a realistic shadow of a doubt. So could a jury, if the defense educates them properly on the issues Sig has been having in all of the documented cases, could they say, without a reasonable doubt, do you think that the gun did not go off unintended? And I think that they could definitely sway that. Now, I'm not a lawyer, right? I don't know these things, but I think that it could be swayed that, look at all these cases. How do we know for certain that he did it? The teen said that he was surprised. There's a chance,
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with you, though, John, that I think that likely he did probably ND towards these kids.
So quick update in the case of Focus Group versus YouTube. I won the appeal. So
yeah, let's go.
I won the appeal. However, it won't let me stream.
Oh.
So, but they did put up the first 11 minutes on YouTube. So the first 11 minutes of the stream is on YouTube uninterrupted. The rest of it will be on the second channel. So, oops-a-daisy.
Did they say why?
Well, so I appealed it, and then they agreed with my appeal. So they says, hey, we reviewed Rage Bait Propaganda Wakanda again and confirmed it doesn't violate our community guidelines. We put your content back on YouTube. Thank you for your patience during our review. We're committed to keeping YouTube a safe place for everyone, and sometimes we make mistakes. Oopsie.
Yeah. So, quick question, John.
Bro, I got screwed.
Yeah, you did. Can you see the super chats from the second channel in studio?
Yeah, I can see. Oh, actually, that's a good question. I cannot, actually. Okay. So I have to go back. I will go. I can just scroll through it quickly.
I was going to say, we only have 2.
Well, we have one on Rebel too. So DD214 bro for $2. Thank you very much, sir. Says Sig, because who needs safety when you can have Schrodinger's pistol? Good point. Tusk the Third for $1.99 says second hole is much tighter. Thank you very much for the $1.99. Tusk the Third for another $1.99 says my uncle shot a load in my face once. I also survived. Big yikes, dog. Big yikes. But I'm glad to hear that you survived, even though you may not have wanted to. Sorry, bro.
Sorry about that, Tusk.
Yeah, that's a little rough. Okay, so I'm just going to keep refreshing YouTube live streaming until it allows me to go live again. All right, so that is the Sig talk. The Sig talk has been demonstrated. So, oh, damn it, dude. That was going to be such a good stream, too. Gosh dang it. I'm gonna write a strongly worded letter to YouTube about their taking me offline again twice in 2 weeks. What the heck? Okay.
You need to include a meme in the email. Something vaguely intimidating.
A vaguely worded threat, you say. Okay, yeah, Bones will be back on in just a second. Alrighty. Ooh, yeah, get it. Sorry, I just got distracted by Arrow. Launching that bad boy in the air. All right, so now we are going to review for Memorial Day some of the greatest military propaganda of all time.
I love propaganda.
All hail Raytheon.
Just kidding.
No more distractions. No more electric tanks. No more gender confusion. No more climate change worship. We are laser focused on our mission of warfighting.
We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars we end.
So this is the only real diversity shot in the whole trailer, which is a bad sign, bros. It's a very bad sign. This is really the only diversity shot in the whole trailer. The rest of it, military-aged white males, bro. It's getting bad.
When it's just
That's
white
how you know
guys,
recruitment numbers are bad.
when it's just white guys, you know it's not great.
We're cooked.
Yeah. Stupid electric non-binary tanks. It's true. Holding us back.
Success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. It's called peace through strength.
You look into the eyes of these young Americans who are giving up the best years of their life in a uniform to serve their nation. They are incredible.
Through our power and might, we will lead the world to peace. Our friends will respect us. Our enemies will fear us.
The fact that they put that clip in there of them murking like 100 Houthis, like a real clip,
Wild.
that is ballsy, to say the least. Very
They
effective.
just posted that clip
Very
straight
effective.
onto the White House Twitter account. It was like, wow, all
They're
right.
like- and then the
Now
ad,
watch
"Peace
this
through
drive.
strength." This reminds me of like a Dune movie trailer, but if you take out Donald Trump and put in Baron Harkin, and just show all of the stuff going on in them, I could probably do that actually. Take this music, the words, put it to the Dune trailer, and I think it would come out mostly the same. Very effective propaganda.
Lead the world to peace. Our friends will respect us. Our enemies will fear us. And the whole world will admire the unrivaled greatness of the United States military. We will replenish the pride of our armed forces, end the recruitment crisis.
We don't fight because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us.
God bless you. God bless our armed forces. God bless our men and women serving overseas. And God bless the United States of America.
Whatever marketing team they paid like $50 million to make that recruitment ad, good job. Money well spent. Can recommend. DD214 Bro, which I believe is the same as Huge Ass Man, for $1, says, I gave up a fully functioning spine for my country, and all I got was tinnitus and sleep apnea. Sorry to hear that, man. I don't know if the trade was worth it for you, but I do appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out, homie. Stealth Life says, serving their country's tax-funded munitions all over guys who can't read and who've never seen a microwave. Probably true. Mitchell Black for $4.99 on YouTube says, geez, dude, my freaking Sig P320 went off in your head. Geez, my bad, man. Geez, man, my P320, it shot you, man. I didn't. That's good.
I don't know if I just missed it because the stream's slightly lagging on my end. What was there a XM7 there at all, or is it all still? M4s?
Actually, that's a good point. M4s, 22s. That's actually a good point. Was there a single Sig product featured? No, M4. No, 240. And I think you're right, though. I didn't see any. Yeah.
Looks like a URGI.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
A Block 2 sitting there, right? With the quaddy. This is a Daniel Defense propaganda video.
I mean, it could be because the XM7 is still not technically.
God bless our men and women serving overseas, and God bless the United States of America.
Hold on, was that Trench?
Oh, hold on.
To make it in the DOD video? There's no way that was Trench.
That'd be
Sorry.
hilarious.
He was there for like one frame, but I need to make sure.
Which frame?
It's, I don't know if it was, no, okay. For a second, that frame looked like it was Trench. That one looked like it was Trench for just
It
a second.
does
It went
kinda
by
look
really
like him.
fast, and I was like, wait, what?
Well, he's not in the Marine
Trench make the
Corps,
DoD video?
And God
That'd be
bless
awesome.
the United States
That's not
of
Trench. There's not
America.
8 videos that are poorly recorded on an iPhone every day.
Hey.
Well,
there's three or four.
No, sorry.
Shadow Force says Trench played every soldier in the ad. It's true.
Real.
Trench trained them all. Actually, it's a possibility that he did train some of them.
Very possible.
Well, no, he wouldn't have trained them. He trained the trainers who trained them.
Well, he was a drill sergeant at first, but
Right.
yeah, something like that.
Subarctic Psycho for 5 says, we're ditching the dumb XM7 and unretiring the M1 Garand. F it.
Yes.
True. Bring it back, baby. Pings for all for a automatic morale booster. Thank you very much, Subarctic, for the $5. Appreciate it, sir. Oh, actually, and then Josie Wales responds, says M1 Garand's chambered in 277 Fury. Yeah, that's interesting.
That could be fun.
All right. Well, now I've never seen this one. This is from like the 70s. This is entitled Armies Be All You Can Be commercial. So we're taking it back, and then we'll work forward a little bit in terms of time for the military propaganda videos.
Brother, making me feel old. I think this was released in the early 90s.
Bro, really? It seems older to me, so I don't know.
I distinctly remember
it's
the
like
Be All You
300
Can
years
Be
ago.
campaign.
They could have used it for a long time. I mean, they could have filmed it in the 70s and the 80s and then actually used it all the way until like, the
Be All
90s.
You Can Be is classic. I guess, yeah, maybe I'm too young. I don't remember this at all. So sorry, homies.
If it's before I was born, it doesn't exist.
You're reaching deep inside you. Go! The
Wait,
things you
huh?
never known. It's been tough, rough going, but
Slightly different vibe to this video. Just a little bit. And you can see, we'll get back to the more intense stuff as we kind of move through the ages. And they do some wacky ads, absolutely wacky ads, but a slightly different vibe in the 90s. Yeah, here calls it in the 80s. So let's say 80s.
Yeah, this one was.
It gave very 80s vibe by the music.
We do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
It's true.
Hey, First Sergeant. Good morning.
you can do it.
I'm surprised that they decided to make this Mexican gentleman the face of the commercial. But I mean, I suppose they were trying to hit diversity quotas back in the 80s and 90s as well. So not terrible.
There's always just been a big and like the population and what groups are minorities is always exaggerated in the military. So they might just be trying to show that, I suppose.
I see M26 in the chat. I kind of wish he was on right now, or I could pull up his comments because he might. I actually want to know his opinion on some of these before he got into the military.
Oh man,
who just joined again? Logan?
I think it's Logan. Yeah.
Well, that's also possible. Shadow Force says they were probably trying to have softer vibes after NAM. Maybe going for a more uplifting route rather than, yeah, we're gonna kill everyone.
The equipment in the video looks very like post or during Vietnam.
Well, by definition, almost yes, it would be post or during Vietnam. That's such a wide swath of timeline that you just pulled up there.
Well, I mean,
That's
the equipment's used for a long time, so.
Well, because I like that, the theme of that video versus this one.
Will respect us, our enemies will fear us, and the whole world will admit.
Just
Man.
just a slightly different vibe. Our enemies will fear us as you watch them just get obliterated live. The rest of the world will admire us. That's good.
That's great.
All right. Now, this video is entitled The Best U.S. Marines TV Recruitment Spot Ever Produced.
Oh, is this where they slayed the dragon or whatever?
Yeah,
This goes hard.
I had never seen this before. So when I was watching this today, I was like, what the heck
This
am I
goes
looking at?
insanely hard.
What is this?
This one was my favorite of all of the commercials.
I had
the
never
future
seen
of
this
war.
before, and I was like, what is going on? But yeah, this goes hard.
Oh my god.
Early 2000. This is like PS2 CGI graphics.
Yeah.
The interns making this video were like, listen, Marines, I need $50 million and a team of coders. Don't ask me why, okay? It's going to be the greatest ad of all time, though. And the guy who's approving it all is like, you want a dragon and a spinning cage of knives? Like, yeah.
Well,
And this represents the Marine Corps. How? Marine Corps? No, it's just cool.
Yeah, no, it's just awesome, dude.
Isn't that from Marine Corps?
Yeah, Marine Corps. It's like this was actually a video game trailer that got canceled, and then they just ported in the Marine.
Like, yeah, we'll take that
to save the costs on adding them in. Bro, the lightning and graphics, I can't even tell what's happening there, but for some reason he got inserted into the tube of spinning death blades. And that's part of the challenge.
All a metaphor.
This is exactly what it's like.
This is what it's like when you get locked in the dryer for the first time by the drill sergeants when they used to be able to do that. And you have to escape.
Wait, getting locked in the dryer as a evasion tactic, or this is part of your training?
Yeah,
this is what it's like. This is what it's like to be in the airlock in the Discord.
True, yeah. Fight your
Real.
way through with all the cretins before the whole thing gets jettisoned.
It's a rite of passage. A challenge to join the elite. If you succeed, if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield, even to yourself, you will be changed forever.
Absolute cinema.
The few, the proud, the Marines.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
I just want to know who came up with the Balrog smoke monster.
Absolute
I wonder if this.
fire.
When did this come out? I wonder if this did come out after Lord of the Rings. And they
You
were like, guys,
shall not pass.
I have an idea. I have an
See,
idea.
you think all this is fake, but this is actually what they found in the mountains of Afghanistan. They just don't want you to know about it.
You have to.
This is actually just one of the monsters they brought back specifically for this ad.
Yeah, exactly.
Real.
It's one of the weapons of mass destruction that they talked about.
That's what they found. They found the black spot smoke monster.
That's the Balrog, man.
DD214 bro for $1 on Rumble says, Guy I knew saw this ad while high and ended up joining the army instead of the Marines.
What a
very
flag.
bright.
What a
The comment below that was Trent, right?
Oh my god.
Thank you very much, DD214 bro, for the laugh. That was very funny.
Literally, what is this shit? I'm joining the army.
Literally joined the army instead.
Literally,
actually,
this is badass, dude.
Did he get
I'm feeling
confused?
this weird
He
call.
saw
I
the
must
smoke
join the
monster.
Marines.
He saw the smoke monster and was like, you know what? I'm not going to fight that. Let's go get the.
That's too much.
Let's do the army instead.
Let's just do things really early in the morning instead.
Oh, shit, that's what it's like to be the Marines. I guess I'll go army.
What's up, guys? It's Trench Grenade, the Dragon Slayer. Your mom says you have a home.
Oh,
damn!
And now I need him. Now I need him to do that intro. That's funny. 337 for $1 on Rumble says, I don't know about the rest of you, but I fought because I utterly despised what was in front of me. Yeah, you know, people. I mean, maybe it doesn't sound as nice, but hate is a motivator. It works on me. It's been used for thousands of years, actually, quite effectively. So
you gotta hate.
Thank you very much for the 337. Yeah, I say, why not both? Love what's behind you and hate what's in front of you. Tuss the Third for $1.99 says, First Sergeant Rusty Trombone. Wah, wah. Big sad. Sorry, homie. Where did I put that? I have way too many clips now.
They ask you how you are, you don't just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Mitchell Black for $4.99 says, rare footage of 1-year-old me escaping the microwave my crackhead mom stuffed me into. Unbelievable.
Oh my god.
Thank you very much for the $4.99, Mitchell.
Oh, ow.
That was loud.
Wow.
That was rough.
What was that?
Happened.
All right. So, how many of you guys have seen this one? So this is the U.S. Marine Corps.
You missed one, John.
Anthem 72. Which one did I miss?
Subarctic Psycho says we're ditching the dumb XM7 and are unretiring the M1. Oh, did I? So I'm just retarded. Okay, that's fine.
Yes. Are you trying to have sex with me? I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah, it's all right. We already got that one. But thank you, Richard, for being 15 minutes behind. Please give us an update on this video in the next 15 minutes. Thank you.
I'll check back later.
Yeah, just purposely come in and talk about something we talked about 15 minutes ago every now and again.
So about that Balrog,
we got a new recurring bit.
Bro, did you guys see that smoke monster?
Hey, did we ever figure out why YouTube took down the stream initially?
Hey, why aren't we on YouTube anymore?
Yeah.
No, we're still on YouTube. There are 150 people watching on the backup channel right now, and we have 220 monsters on Rumble who are apparently dealing with really bad ads on Rumble. And if Rumble is bad, I don't have any way to turn them off. I have no way. It's just automatic. On YouTube, I have them set to the minimum possible. So if it's bad, I am very sorry, gentlemen. There's not much I can do about it.
I have Rumble pulled up on browser and there's no problem, but I'm using Brave browser, so
that would do it. It has built-in ad blocker.
Yeah, you got to get the base browser, guys.
Actually, yeah. Brave. If you're on Rumble, use the Brave browser. It's just kind of what you should be using anyways. No ads, right? So I just saw some people
even on YouTube, no ads.
But I saw some people in the Rumble chat specifically complaining about really bad ads. So if they're really bad, like just use Brave, because I don't make any money from Rumble ads whatsoever. I get $0.00 from that. So do not watch them. Like, it's absolutely worthless. So
it's all about money for you, isn't it, John?
Well, no, but some people watch because they're like, well, I give the guy money. But on Rumble, it's literally worthless. So do not watch them at all, ever. Like,
do not redeem Sauer.
Just a waste. Just a complete waste. If you do it because you're thinking that you're helping me, you're not. You're not doing that. So do not do that. Waste of time. And your experience is way worse. But have any of you guys seen this ad? Because I think this ad might actually be my favorite. This is the
Marine familiar
commercial anthem 72 public service announcement. Terrible title, but this trailer has got some serious vibes to it. So no one has seen this?
I don't think I
have. It looks familiar.
Okay, well, it's pretty.
Oh, maybe I have actually. You know what, Logan? I might have seen it, but I'll have to start watching it to know for sure.
Oh my gosh, we got Hop and Rumble chat.
We have Hop on
Holy
Rumble.
Moly.
All we had to do is get 2 streams taken off of YouTube to get Hop on Rumble. That's it. And again, we are also live on the backup channel on YouTube, which is Out of Focus Clips with 2 Ps. So that is there. If anyone is interested in that, Richard runs that and does obviously the Clips channel, but we're streaming from it since YouTube decided that I was bad, but then I'm good again or something, because I appealed and won in like 1 minute.
It was their bad, but it's still your fault.
Correct. All right, here we go. This is I watched this ad earlier today and I was like, this is the one.
I have seen this.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within. Over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
I just really like the aesthetic. The little not claymation, but like the figurines, the sound design,
it goes
soft
hard.
music.
Yeah,
it reminds me of that. Was it a trailer for Halo 3?
Yeah, somebody just mentioned the Halo 3.
We will look that up. The ODST trailer goes hard. The ODST human trailer goes super hard.
Somebody just said in chat.
I thought there was either. Yeah, I thought it was the Call of Duty.
Kinda.
Call of Duty
that had a very similar.
Yeah,
their campaign.
It was similar, yeah, but
ish.
Same,
like
but different. Everybody was all liquid in the Ghost trailer.
Yeah.
Okay,
they're all
story.
metal
We'll
here.
look at that in just a second. But no, this trailer I like almost everything
It's
about it.
nice.
This is good.
It looks super cool. Someone really put some effort into this.
Promises to one's community. Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
Boom.
God damn.
It just goes hard.
It goes unfathomably hard.
From the different time eras that are in it, the cinematography, the shallow depth of field that changes throughout, the sharp, because it's all CG. It's not actually practically filmed, I would imagine, because that would be incredibly hard to do. But
yeah,
just very, very beautiful, very well done. Yeah, very cool.
Is this what happens when you
good.
walk into the recruiter's office? They just show you this.
Well, basically, it's like, where do I sign up? And then as somebody says, a promise of crayons. And then you get into the actual military and you're like, wait a second, this isn't that cool. Gosh,
This is what they showed
was...
you 20 years ago for recruiting. Now they just show you a picture of Luhan and cat ears.
Aw, that's sad.
No,
Right, so let's see.
Yeah, that does happen.
Call of Duty Ghost trailer. Did they just ape the Call of Duty Ghost trailer? Find out.
It was a different time, a different enemy.
Yep.
60 men from two teams were sent to face down a force of 500 enemy fighters. Their objective? To force the enemy back from a civilian hospital and keep its occupants alive. For 3 days, they held their ground. But the enemy's numbers were too great. The 60 were cut down.
I mean, it's maybe slightly similar aesthetically in terms of it's all like single frames, basically. It's not like an actual action trailer. But...
As they lay in wait, the blood from the dead poured over them. 14 rows out of the desert sand. They were like hunters that couldn't be seen, using stealth their enemies couldn't defend against. When the men ran dry of ammunition, they used their blades. And when the blades ran dull, they used their hands. When the dust and sand had settled, only one of the enemy had survived. He was picked up in the desert, wandering aimlessly, traumatized. He expressed warnings to others of a force so menacing and unbeatable, it could only be described as supernatural. He called them ghosts.
Too bad the game wasn't good, but
yeah, Extinction Mode was a great time. Okay.
That does make me wish Ghost was actually a good game.
I wish Ghost was real. One small ball for $2 says it did actually. I remember. Thank you for bringing that up for some reason. Gosh dang, I forgot about that. One small ball for $2 says fish lives matter. Logan is a maniac. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Logan is just doing his thing. Okay, they were certified USPSA targets, and he was at a match.
I can't swim.
They just happened to get in the way.
I can't swim.
Just doing business.
I was a businessman doing business things.
Oh gosh. Let me see. What are ODST?
Real.
I hope you guys can't hear it, but I'm pretty sure there's gunshots in my town right now. I hear it through my window.
Can't hear it.
Okay, that's
nice. Good. Yeah, I can't really. Although it would be much more entertaining if we.
It'd be hilarious if you guys could.
So, let me see here. Pull this one up. So the actual greatest trailer of all time, apparently, according to chat, is the Halo 3 ODST live action trailer, The Life.
Rated M for mature.
See, I like it. It's very simple because they have 2.5 minutes to get this done, and they can set up everything without a single line, like a spoken line of dialogue. You get it, right? They're handing the flag. They're at the funeral. It's all like very, very fast and efficient. You don't need somebody to turn at the audience and be like, his friend died or his brother died. It's like you get it automatically.
Get a load
Intrinsically
of
just by
this
watching
guy.
it. Yeah. Feel bad for
Environmental
this man.
storytelling.
Something bad happened.
E-shorties! Ride offline,
And they even use the ODST sound effects for the gunshots and everything. So it's just, if you didn't know that this was an ODST trailer, you're like, oh, this is a trailer for the U.S. military, right? It's like the aesthetics are a little bit off, but it's just kind of cool. Bagpipes always go hard. Okay,
They do.
100%.
In Dune, using the bagpipes and the electric guitar mixed together, fantastic.
I did catch it at Tarkov too.
Tarkov does it too.
No, sorry, his name was Tarkov. That's just kind of funny.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, gotcha. Pretty solid work.
Oh man,
Unfathomably based.
Video games peaked in 2009.
Yep.
I just got the chills, bro.
They broke the mold on that one.
Where did I see it? Somebody posted that in there. The funeral scene was filmed in a cooling tower of a decommissioned power plant in Germany. Interesting. So that's where they got that set, because that set looks great.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, why couldn't the show be this good? Dude, you had to remind me that they made a Halo TV show.
Oh,
Don't do
man.
that. Don't do that.
I drink every night to forget.
I did forget that they did that. I've never seen an episode. I never
Honestly, the live action fanfic Halo series was better.
Red versus blue.
Yeah,
No, they did. They did one on YouTube, and it was honestly not bad compared to the TV show.
Yeah,
which is sad.
Chat Master Cheeks, yeah.
Master Cheeks.
Unbelievable.
Different fan fiction, different site.
That's disrespectful, man. Take it back.
Yeah, Master Cheeks is slightly different interpretation there. Go for it, Richard.
Can we cover what I think is probably my favorite wartime training propaganda footage?
No, you can't. Sorry.
Sorry, out of time. I'm joking.
Oh no, I got
talking about.
I'm way ahead of you, bro. I already have it pulled up. So
he's talking about Lugon, right?
Love it.
This is the one. So this is funny. I watched this today, and I was like, okay, well, this is going to be at the end because it's not really a trailer or a propaganda piece. This is official training of how to gun in a B-17, which is wild to me that they integrate it. There's a cartoon integrated with it that actually does like a really good job at explaining how to do it. And I was watching, it's like, We'll get to it, but I watched this and I was like, I want SpongeBob explaining to me naval warfare. Like, if they're going to do this in 1944, I want the same thing now. I want SpongeBob and Patrick on a submarine explaining to me how to launch torpedoes.
100%. Now, SpongeBob would have to be slightly racist too, but.
Oh, don't worry about it. What were we going to say, Logan?
There's something about these military training videos from the 40s to the 60s that are just phenomenal.
That's it. I'm going to re-enlist to fight in the space. Listen, okay, if aliens is the next big scam, if we can get like something cool, like make it Helldivers-esque or something, like, all right, we'll do it. Feet first into hell, baby. Not, retards in the Middle East, but oh well. Say Libby, you can't barrel.
That's pretty good, yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, just
you give it a little twist if you want him to really feel it. Oh
my gosh, that's great.
This plane is manned by the luckiest crew of the luckiest squadron of the Air Force. Their waist gunner is Trigger Joe. With him at his post, they can fly anywhere with complete confidence. For a gun sight, he uses a crystal ball. He fires by instinct.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll say they're lucky.
I'm not going to say what type of gunner he is.
Never mind that crystal ball, Trigger. He didn't have one. He didn't need one. There's science in that kind of shooting. Take a look at it. A fighter has fixed guns, all facing forward. To aim his guns, he must aim his plane. He's like a flying gun.
Dude, that's amazing.
A-10 Warthog.
I was about to say that. It's like, just put a couple jet engines on the back and it's an A-10, baby.
We got the A-10.
We
had the A-10 back in the 40s. We always knew it.
Joe. Wait, why is he wearing a turban? Because they wanted to shove in a crystal ball joke. I guess that's why he's wearing a turban, because that was part of the writing process. Which is,
I thought it was great.
I prefer the idea that they started with the turban and then was like, how can we take it from here?
Yeah, we just really wanted to wear a turban.
That is funnier.
How do we work that into the story?
In any type of attack, the fighter must aim at the spot where you will be by the time his bullets get there.
Mm-hmm.
In order to continue to fire at you, he must fly a pursuit curve. This is the time he is really dangerous to you. This is the time he is easiest to hit. There are 5 parts to a fighter's attack: overtaking, turn in, roll through, gun sparing,
Can any of my War Thunder bros confirm if this is accurate or not?
Get the real experts in here.
I've played War Thunder at least a couple times, and this is 100% accurate.
and breakaway. This is the pursuit curve. Now he is your target. To you, he will always appear head on. Not this, not this, but this, and this, and this. He's in his curve. Head on, in range, shoot. Shoot.
And that's where rain comes from.
He's like, oh, what the heck?
You didn't allow for the forward motion of the bomber being imparted to the bullet. Oh, yeah. What was that? Remember when you were a paper boy? If you tossed the paper directly towards the porch, it went sailing by and lit next door? The same thing happens when you shoot from a moving plane. If you fire point blank at 90 degrees, the bullet continues to move in the direction you're going. and will go off here. Before you fire, the bullet is moving with you on your line of flight. When you fire, the explosion sends it in a new direction. Upon leaving the muzzle, the bullet immediately turns and follows a direct path between them. The paper boy never understood why, but he soon learned he had to aim at this side of the house for his paper to land on the porch.
Back when there was such a thing as a paperboy route. Now we don't learn these advanced fighter mechanics.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love the idea of using the paperboy to train how to lead a target.
Yeah.
To hit this plane on the ground, then, we must do the same thing. Make allowance for the effect our bomber's motion will have on the bullet. We must make this allowance no matter where we shoot from. Here, here, or here. This deflection is always between the target and the tail of our bomber. At only one point are we a target for him. At that time, our point of aim is here. If we shoot accurately, we get this. Now, if he is moving toward us, our point of aim must be such that our bullets will intercept him. But what happens if we put him in the air, where he is free to change his course and keep firing at us? As we move forward, he must change the angle of his approach. This is his pursuit curve. We apply the same principle of deflection we had for the moving plane on the runway. As long as he stays in his curve, we know where he will be and can intercept him.
I love how it reminds me of the Asteroids game.
Dude, I'm going to start taking notes soon.
Right? It's funny how informational it is, and the entire time it's based off of a mod and a cartoon.
Yeah, the contrast between it is it's my favorite part.
Just remember, the deflection is always between the target and the tail of your bomber. But you have to make an allowance.
I've got it. Now watch this. Between the Joker and my own tail. Let's see, about here.
Hey, what the hell, Doc? You're starting to get it.
Starting? Brother, I got it.
Your direction was right, but you had no correction of your deflection as the approach angle changed.
For instance?
We've seen that this amount of deflection is right for a plane straight out at 90 degrees to your fore and aft axis. And when he's dead on your tail, you can shoot straight at him. So at any other angle, the deflection must be somewhere between these two.
Doc, nothing personal, but that don't look like nothing I ever seen in the air.
Of course not. You're not conscious of the forward movement of either your bomber or the fighter. All you see is his movement in relation to your position in the air. He appears to slide toward your tail.
I ain't seen nothing.
And now we just have a heads-up display that tells you where to point and shoot.
Yeah, I've seen Star Wars. I know how it works. I got it.
You just look
Luke,
at it.
Why'd you turn your targeting computer off?
He's watching this video on his phone as he's doing it. No, I got it. I got it, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a very informative. It's a bit dry, being made in 1944, but it's a great video.
I just like the idea that they had an entire motion picture department specifically for stuff like this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of still
It'd probably be hard
don't
to
call it the same thing.
Well, I want to know who signed off on the Turban Man. What do they call him? Trigger Joe?
Yeah, Trigger Joe or something like that.
Did they have a hat on?
Bro, they brought out the whole freaking diagram, bro. Like, wow.
It gets extremely in depth, and then it cuts right back to him just being a goof,
being a goofball.
Yeah,
they cut through everything. Damn.
Yeah. No, this is a true training. The whole thing is a true training film.
Oh, so they do even the front and back and all the other gunners as well.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, I didn't watch the full.
overlapping fields of fire. They have it all. They cover it all, and the whole thing is centered around a goofy cartoon.
How about taking
Incredibly
one
based
full
of them.
seat? Okay, why not? First, I gotta identify him. He's enemy, all right. Looks like the same guy. Yeah, maybe I'll get him this time. Now he's coming in. Gotta line him up, check the range, estimate approach angle, towards my tail, 90 degrees again, 3 rads over here, down here, start shooting. Check about a rad and a half, so it's shooting at, keep the horizon.
Look, Trigger. Look at the plane.
It works. Well, I'll be a sad sack of...
Thanks for credit. Very PG.
Rad.
That's R?
Very nice.
What do you think that dude's Radzar score was?
Yeah, what's his Radzar score?
Probably
just recently scored over 200 on that thing.
No, how did you get worse?
It gets worse with time.
Or better, depending on how you look at it.
You're telling me this guy has a Radzar score of 200? Couldn't be.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was on the
13, I
retest.
think.
They took out the tumor that held it back.
I was about to say.
That is true. The original one was pre-tumor removal.
Yeah, dude, that was your inhibitor, your autistic inhibitor. They removed that shit. Now it's off the charts.
The inhibitor chip. Somebody in
I think I
chat,
scored
a hetero cat boy says that cartoon character looks like Lemon Grenade. Lemon Grenade says not wrong. That's funny.
That's amazing.
I think there should be a minimum rad score for the server, I believe.
Yeah,
We should implement that as a rule.
In the airlock, you have to post your Radzar score.
Dude, that's good. Yeah, Logan
has to be at a certain level before we allow you in.
Yep.
Can't be
I don't know how
high,
Hawkeye made it in. He scored like 17.
Bruh.
Yeah, that was
Randy says he claimed he scored like 13 or something.
It's the rifle. It is the rifle, boys.
It is.
I love PSA so much.
I love PSA.
That
As
is
with
indeed a
all
rifle.
Good rage bait. So I'm pretty sure Trench made this specifically to rage bait me. just by the title. Just by the title of the video, it is simply the perfect rifle for the apocalypse is a PSA ?
For half a second, I thought that was a what would Stoner do lower, and I was going to throw a fit. It's just a regular lower with a A2 stock on it, or something like that. So I'm like,
195 in chat. Damn, son, you're hyper retarded or whatever that thing is.
Turbo retarded.
Oh gosh dang it. Still banned from YouTube.
No.
Very sad. Big sad.
What a bunch of losers.
No, but so the problem isn't really with the video. There's nothing wrong with the video at all, but it's literally just the title. The title is just clickbait rage farming. So I thought I would put him in the title and not talk about it at all because he doesn't talk about it in the video
That's
at all.
awesome.
Most of it is just about the mystery ranch pack that he got, and then just shooting out to distance. So it is not about why a PSA is the best apocalypse rifle. It is just some different distance shooting with the PSA, which is not even really most of a PSA rifle. So all right, there's your rage bait. We move on. Now this is a question.
That guy at times.
Well, I mean, I get it from the perspective of like trying to get some engagement on like what would otherwise be a boring video, because I think about that on some videos where I'm like, I don't know if people are really going to like this that much. What's an angle I could take that's more interesting? But of course, I think he's very aware that
really leaning into that engagement hacking scene.
Yeah,
claiming that PSA is the best apocalypse rifle of all time. I mean, like it's gonna take some pretty strong argumentation for that to stick. But in the video, I don't even think he brings it up. He doesn't even mention that once in the video.
Briefly, it's just like he goes over the parts on the rifle, why he likes it, and then he briefly talks about why 20-inch uppers are based.
Well, 20-inch uppers, that's fine, of course. But also, that PSA is mostly not PSA.
Yes, he does talk about that too. Yeah,
the barrel is FN, and then the bolt is somebody else's bolt.
BCM.
So it's Yeah, so it's not even a PSA reference. That's what I'm saying. It's pure rage bait. So I put them in the title as pure rage bait.
Hey, to be fair, I have an on. She's a Phil autist, so.
Oh,
for PSAs are
Boondock
just as good. I shot 70 rounds.
Worked just fine.
True. You can't RMA your PSA in the future. And remember, guys, AAC ammo, good to go. Will definitely not give you the third hole.
Best quality ammo.
You want your lower receivers to have a third hole, not your suppressors. Your suppressors have
wait. Your suppressor should only have one.
So
does it have one or two though?
Yeah,
PSA has shipped out a lower.
Gotta have 2 holes, Logan. At least 2. Okay, your suppressor needs to have 2. If they only gave you 1, they gave you a bomb.
Wait, hold on.
Technically,
one hole all the way through.
He's right. He is right. It is only 1 hole.
We need a diagram for Logan because he can't imagine it.
Wait, well, by that logic, do humans only have 1 hole since it's all?
No, they technically have 7, if I remember correctly, from that Vsauce video.
Logan, what are you doing with the bonus holes?
Do not press the forbidden button.
Now, with this video, this was originally titled something else. I think it was "Should you shoot USPSA?" ? So the title.
I think that was on the thumbnail.
Oh, is it? Maybe
I'm pretty sure that's on the thumbnail.
I thought you changed the title, but maybe I just don't read, or maybe that's why. Yeah, should you do USPSA?
To be fair, reading is hard.
Thumbnail, and then everything wrong with my USPSA match. Well, that's the thing. I feel like the thumbnail, the wording on the thumbnail, is way more important than the title, at least for clicks.
100%.
And then for
no one looks at titles. Everyone just looks
for
at the thumbnail.
For the search, the title is important because that's what people are going to search. But then for actually clicking on the video, the only thing that matters is what's on the thumbnail.
Especially on mobile, nobody's looking at titles.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so my bad. It's both. It's both on there. But I only wanted to take a look at this if you guys were interested because
what is the premise of the video?
So the premise of the video is USPSA speed shooting, what it's good for, what it's not, and then her own personal experience at a USPSA match. And I've talked to Jessie a little bit. This isn't to bash on her by any means because this is her first USPSA match.
Yeah.
I have some critiques of some of the things in the video, but it's not like a bashing I hate it sort of thing. So it's only like as a way for us to talk about USPSA and competition shooting.
I'm
what it's good for, what
curious
it's not
about it because I come from a very tactical shooting experience, and that's where I do all my shooting, and that's what I know. And recently, I did go to a USPSA match, and it was a very interesting experience, and I learned a lot and learned what USPSA was about, and got a little bit of the insight of like how and where the disconnect is, where some people are like USPSA is stupid, it's not worth anything in the real world, and other people are like, no bro, it's literally the same. And I'm curious what she thinks about it because I had my own conclusions, I guess, going to a USPSA match as well from someone who had never been.
Well,
John,
actually, this would be
real
good for all of us to talk about. Go for it, Richard.
You mind if I shoot an invite over to Lance?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
if Lance is around, get him in here.
Oh yes, that would be good.
Yeah, he said USPSA, get me in here, please.
Lance is what's the good word for Lance? Lance is dedicated.
There's a couple good words for Lance. Yo, don't say that
Speaking
word,
of Lance,
Logan.
get the Weekend Gunner merch. Excellent sun hoodies.
Yeah, this is actually a Weekend Gunner sponsored stream. We're all just wearing his sweatshirts on here.
Jake's going to grab his. Let's go.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, I could put mine on. It's literally sitting on the floor behind me.
I'm not in the know, guys. I'm sorry. I haven't purchased any of it.
Let's get Lucas on to talk about this. I think Lucas would also be very interesting to talk to about this. And again, the video isn't really that important. It's just as a vehicle to discuss USPSA. Well, I don't know if Hop doesn't necessarily like USPSA, although he would be a good contrarian opinion, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So did you send him the invite, or do you need me to? Yeah, M26 says, I just remember seeing her on multiple channels talking technical details out of nowhere. I don't know if she wants people to know what her job is, but I don't know if she said that on her channel or not. But
I think I remember seeing something on a video of hers.
She was on Brass Facts talking about ballistics. Yeah, she's a ballistician is what she does. But I don't know if she wants to mention like specifically what company she works for and stuff like that. So she works in ballistics and stuff like that. And so she's very smart and very, very knowledgeable about certain topics. But she's never shot a USPSA match before, and so this is her video on it, which
Same, brother.
be interesting.
I've done one.
Dogman Defense on YouTube for $2 says, "Woman detected, opinion disregarded." Disregard. Speaking of YouTube super chats, Tusk the Third for $1.99 says, "Don't go from the stink to the pink." Thank you for the helpful advice there, Tusk the Third on YouTube for $1.99. I hope your uncle also took that advice.
Oof.
Yeah.
That
Bubbles
joke
kissing hot
stinks.
handloads. Handholds.
That's handholds,
LLC.
not handloads.
Handholds. Aw. It's Glow So Bright. Is Glow So Bright gooning in the chat right now?
He's been in here.
Are you trying to have sex with me?
Don't let Quantum hear me say that. What did I say, Fokker? You gonna tell him? Whatever I said that would have said him. Don't tell him.
Had some things to say about Boondog.
Oh,
It's
that's right.
been funny.
We don't need to get into that. I forgot about that he said that earlier. Well, while we're waiting for these gentlemen to arrive or not arrive, we will go ahead and
he's got the link. So there he is.
Wow, speak of the devil, and he appears.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Weekend Gunner, how's your day going, sir?
Oh, great, dude. I got cooked out in the sun. I'm all burnt.
No, again,
crispy.
Thousands or 1,000 rounds downrange today. Didn't learn a damn thing. Didn't learn a damn thing.
Wait, so
I know that feeling way too well.
Was it a bad training day or a good training day then? Just bad,
it was a great training day, except it was just like, all right, let's go and push the fastest splits possible, and then you blow 1,000 rounds really quickly.
Right.
That you
and
do.
then you're like, all right, did we improve? And it's like, well, I don't know, but it was fun. All right. So let's see. We got 3 USPSA. All right, let's let this roll. Now, one thing I do have to say, just critically about the video itself, is that the background music is a little distracting. Although I know that I also play distracting background music, so it's a little pot calling the kettle black. But
Jesse here, and today I wanted to talk with you guys about my experiences and lessons learned with my first USPSA match. I know a lot of you guys are like me and might be hesitant to do a match for a number of reasons, not limited to, but including anxiety. I don't consider myself a good shooter at all, and I have...
How's it going, Lost Arrow? So before we get going, show of hands or show of yeses. How many people have shot a USPSA match or any match involving firearms? I think everybody here.
Quite a few.
Right?
One. A singular.
One. Lost Arrow, no.
Matches.
No. Dank, no. Damn, voted off the panel. Unbelievable.
Get him out of here. Get him out of
here, bro.
Okay.
Now, I think a lot of people don't shoot USPSA or matches in general for a very simple reason that I didn't before a while ago, is that it's very difficult to just stumble across a local
It can
match.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know about practice score, good luck.
Yeah. They around me, they hosted a bunch all around me, and I had no idea. I had been to multiple of these indoor ranges that host them, had no idea until I got with you guys and like made a free account or whatever on practice.
Me and Logan bullied you into it.
Actually, it's the first time I think I'm talking to you, Lance. I mostly wanted to because I got in the server and everybody was talking about it. I'm like, let's see what this shit's all about because I'm inexperienced with it.
I'm proud of you. I'm so happy you signed up and went.
I did. It was a good time. I enjoyed it.
So, like, same for me though, because there was I was here I've been here 2 years now, and only just recently found out that my local FFL hosts USPSA matches, or not USPSA, they're Hit Factor matches, but host matches at my local gun dealer. And it's like, I've been here for 2 years, and this is the only place I've ever gone. How do I not know this? So I feel like there's a lot more marketing and a lot more work that could be done in the YouTube space specifically to get people to know that there are local options to go shoot a match. They're incredibly cheap. And the round counts are pretty low. Like a local match is like $30, $20, you know?
It's usually like 10 to 30 for a standard local match.
Yeah,
And
it depends on what it is.
200 rounds at most, 100 to 200 rounds.
At most 200 rounds. Most are between 100 and 150. Some are even less. Like if you're going to just a two-stage
depending on
match.
how big the stages are, how many.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, even if that's the only thing you do, and throw in a little bit of live fire trading every little bit, so you shoot 300 rounds a month.
I
most
should
people
be
can
able
do
to
that.
do this. So I am going to, because people are asking in the YouTube chat, where do I go?
Practice score.
Yeah, practice score.
Well, yeah, but I am literally going to copy and paste that in the chat. Pin message. There we go.
Yep, you just have to make a count. It is free. You don't need to pay anything.
Completely free.
UI is kind of garbo, but
trying
the UI is dog shit.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to navigate practice score as like a first-time shooter was an absolute nightmare. How do you get to your dashboard? How do you find matches? Why is it when I load practice score, it puts me in London? What the fuck is going on?
That is something I never understood. It's like I was telling them like why.
Try and find matches near you, and specifically the simplest ones to get into are USPSA level 1. Bring whatever gun you normally shoot, whether that's appendix or in a belt, doesn't matter. Just show up, you'll be fine. That's it.
You don't even need mag pouches. They're recommended, but you can just load out of your pockets if that's all you got.
Yeah, I did a Stegler class reloading from pockets. That was fun.
And even if you enter in like whatever division and power pack or stuff like in that wrong,
doesn't matter.
They can reset that there at the match when you get there if you mess something up, and you went into limited optics and you're shooting an open gun or something like that, and you have it compensated on.
All I'm gonna say is, I would totally would.
Damn it. M26 says that link took me to Grindr. Well, sir, that's your search history. You clicked on the wrong one.
You're doing something wrong there, buddy.
Yeah. All right. Damn it. I see the chat's coming in. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Right,
don't listen to anything. Don't listen to anything Logan tells you. If you're going to sign up for a match, sign up with your G2C in open class. You'll do just fine.
Even if you have a G2C, that's fine.
Honestly, the most common thing is, because right now, like the big thing that's being pushed for handguns is put a comp on it. Every single time I get somebody to come shoot a match with me, it's like just sign up with whatever. It's not that difficult. You're gonna get put in open anyways because you put a comp.
Half the people show up with the comp Glock, and it's like, yeah, you're open class. Who cares? Just have fun.
It's like it doesn't matter. You're not going to be competitive right off the bat. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Get there. Don't EQ, be safe, have fun, and then after you get to come matches, then you can work on actually improving and starting to go for good scores.
The first rule of firearm safety is ignore RO instructions.
Act like you're not even there.
Your booger hook stays on the bang switch at all times.
All the times, just walking around, just hey guys, how you doing? How you doing, buddy? How you doing?
If you
walk
show
up to the RO, this is my safety.
I think that's an Ivan problem. If it's your first match, getting DQs is the baseline. I hope not.
If you show up to your first match and you run PCC, though, you're a little gay.
Well,
yeah.
That's what Jesse did.
DCC is really fun to shoot. It's just a different game. You're just there shooting.
It is a different game.
Really do it? How did they pulled it off in YouTube chat? Do you guys see that? They literally pulled off the hard R in my secondary back.
They got the tower.
Good job, guys.
Your
Good
mother's
job.
disappointed in all of you.
The Patriots know that it would be better if we quit YouTube, but Rumble isn't much better, good sir. But thank you. They still have 200 people watching us on Rumble. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
I've never done this kind of movement before while shooting, so I thought you guys might appreciate hearing some of my takeaways from this. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. It's not a typical video for me, and I already know I did very bad in this competition, so please be kind of gentle in the comments here. I'm trying to learn this aspect of shooting, but
something like that is expected.
Quick synopsis, but I can kind of break my downfalls into two major areas: movement and speed, which go very hand in hand, and lack of preparation with my gear. which shouldn't have been an issue, but it did affect me, and it's something to be cognizant of for you guys in your future. So for the USPSA match I opted to run a PCC. This
immediately.
This is really funny though for one reason. I made a video about a year ago when I first started shooting USPSA doing this exact same thing. It's just like, here's how I fucked up at my first match. And now I don't post anything anymore, but if you follow my Instagram, I am not shooting that. I'm not doing that anymore.
It is cringe that she's shooting PCC, I guess, but like, it is daunting to go out to USPSA on your first time.
Yeah.
So I'll give that to her.
Just have fun with it.
Yeah,
You know,
I-
like we're gonna call you gay, but still, like it's awesome that you're actually going out and enjoying it. So
Our section director
This
said it.
chat is wild. I'm never covering a female again.
Oh god.
And as much as I'll join in on the haha PCC is gay thing,
Mhm.
to be fair,
Well, so-
I would put PCC in the kind of cheater division like Open is. It's the no holds barred, all in kind of thing. It is a
really
different
fun,
game.
though. If you have no places to shoot rifle at competitively, grab a PCC and just go to a USPSA match and shoot PCC
100%.
there. It's the same thing. It's just as fun.
I was actually
The
gonna
only
kinda
thing I
make that
genuinely don't like
argument.
it in is Steel Challenge. And just because
Yeah.
you're starting aiming here, just bang there, whereas I have to start wrist above shoulders, grab the gun, and then draw, and then I'm from there. It's
Well, so the one thing that I was going to say about PCC is that if you're not super interested in handgun shooting, you just build a PCC and treat it like a rifle to get your rifle practice in. That's basically what it is. If you want to shoot fast with the rifle, it's the same thing. For some people, they find it more fun because it's a little bit easier, I guess. They don't have to learn a whole new set of skills. And like the skill ceiling in handguns is like very high, whereas rifles have a much lower, much higher floor, I guess you could say, to where you can be a lot worse of a shooter and still perform fine with a rifle. So, and if that's simpler for you at a match to shoot something you're more familiar with, more comfortable with, that's all good.
This pretty little lady right here, I know some of you guys have strong opinions regarding PCCs in a USPSA match, but since this was my first go around and I was terribly nervous, I wanted to just keep things as simple as I could, and I figured this would be less for me to think about than a standard pistol run. Just wanted to get my feet wet, and this seemed like a fun way to do it. Glaring mistake number one for this competition, but my friend was using this gun prior to me, was trying out a bunch of different components and parts that they wanted to figure out for theirs, which hadn't arrived yet. And on top of that, I had just put this optic on. They zeroed it for me. I hadn't used it before, but I went into this.
Yeah, that's one thing that I don't like retro rifles in general, right? But it's like retro rifle plus a dot on top of the carry handle. So now we have 4.5 inches height over bore, and we're shooting at targets at 5 yards.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I kind of like the look.
It looks cool, but the weird thing is like they zeroed it for her. Like, it's not hard to zero a rifle.
Oh, it could be just did it while they had it in their possession.
Could have been laser board side 02, where they just lined up the laser with the optic.
Yeah,
there is some compounding issues if you're already a little bit anxious, like she said that she was, and then you're going to a match with a rifle that's not zeroed by you, and you're maybe not entirely familiar with. That might not be very fun for you. So that's why I say, if you're going to go do your first match, bring the thing that you are the most comfortable with, whatever, regardless of what it is.
I will be honest. The dudes at the first match I ever went to were so cool. I probably could have brought a Ruger 1022 and they would have let me run it. I almost guarantee.
That's a good club.
You would be surprised at how many people go to a match without an optic zeroed. I had some really good shooters show up and they're like, I dig this gun out of the safe because my extractor broke on my open gun, so I'm shooting this. No idea if it's zeroed or not. It's like,
nice.
They brought. It's like okay, and they're going to run the match, and they're going to do pretty good on most things, and they'll figure it out on the far targets if they're off.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Like with USPSA, as long as you're not like extremely antisocial, when you go show up to your first match, just talk to people. Every time, every match I've been to, people are extremely helpful. They're not like, "Oh, you're an idiot." They're like helpful. They want to make sure you're enjoying yourself and that you're learning. And it doesn't need to be intimidating. It really doesn't.
Yeah, I've gone to 17 matches this year, and I've only ran into one asshole.
Yeah, they are there, but they are few and far between.
Mm. And that asshole ended up DQing, so I don't feel
nice.
Without having shot this configuration before, largely shouldn't be a big deal in regards to components, but the optic is where I started to kind of fall apart. Prior to this, I had only shot this gun with the irons, and while my friend had zeroed this at 25 yards, I had not used it before, and the competition day was not the time to learn my holds on the fly. Normally, this would be something that I could easily adjust for. I'm at a range with no pressure. I can see where my shot hits and take it from there, and it shouldn't be a difficult thing to do. But when you're shaking with nerves, targets are all over the place, you need to run around and get them, and suddenly there's a clock running next to you. It becomes a lot easier said than done.
Now, this is something that I kind of want to touch on, is that something that Matt Pranka himself said was the only way to recreate, in his opinion, like game day stress, so to speak, for him is at a match, and that is the best recreation for him. He's somebody who is very against, or not, I should not say against, but he's somebody who has critiques of certain force-on-force training, because some people will say that's the best game day representation of, you need to go out there. But the problem is, if it's an airsoft match, you go out there and you treat it like an airsoft match. But for him, the most personal pressure that he feels is at a match with his buddies around when he's trying to beat them and they're trying to beat him.
And he's someone who's been there, done that, so... He's not some regular random Joe who's thinks
he has pedigree.
I'm all of it, because I don't get that nervous at matches. Like, I get a little bit of an adrenaline dump when I'm running and whatnot, but I don't get the same sort of like jitters that some people do. Like, obviously, I think for Boondock, she's saying like it was quite nerve-wracking the first time, but I think that's
fair if it's the first time you're ever doing something
even if it is nerve-wracking for you, good. It might be uncomfortable, but it is good to have uncomfortable experiences.
100%.
So I think there is.
I mean, if that's how nervous you get, like just hearing a timer go off, imagine how nervous you get if you have to pull your gun in a self-defense situation.
Exactly.
Right. My favorite part about just USPSA in general, right, is that like you meet somebody that you want to go and compete with, and then you always squad with that person. You only compete against them. It's the best way to do it. It's literally like if you want to improve, you're always competing against your friend. It's the best.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, and so it's kind of like, I live in South Dakota, not a lot of matches. So every single match that I go to, whether it's north, south, down, left, I see the same guys everywhere. Like everywhere. So if I'm in a squad with them, I know who the master level shooters are, who I need, like, watch them, figure out what they're doing, and then try to emulate that to the best of my ability, or whatever it happens to be. And then if I beat them on a stage, I'm like, heck yeah, let's go, baby. So I mean, it's a lot of fun in that respect. So there is pressure, and that's a good thing. So I mean, it's useful training in multiple ways. But we'll talk about the tactics in just a minute, I suppose.
My mind went blank running through this course, and figuring out where I was shooting and adjusting and processing kind of just wasn't something that was happening. I was hitting the targets, shooting at the targets, and moving on because I was so pressed on worrying about the shot timer. So major lesson number one, and I should have known better going into it with this, but it's just timing worked out. I wasn't home. The day that I arrived home lined right up with the competition day. So I really didn't have the time to try things out ahead of time. But make sure you're comfortable with your components, guys. It is fun to try new things. I know a lot of you mess around with your builds and change them around.
That is true. Yeah, being familiar with whatever gun you're shooting is wise. Knowing, just being well familiar with it. Now, hey, I've never shot a gun before. I mean, it can work, but it'd be
actually
a deal to have a little familiarity.
I've never been asked to perform with a gun that I wasn't familiar with.
Yeah, I think would be way better to pick a gun that you know and you shoot well rather than one that you think would be the best for the match. Because I could have ran a PCC for the first match, but I had just put it together, so I was like, I'm just gonna run the pistol I carry all the time because I know it the best.
Bro, Lost Arrow is horny posting on main. Stop it! I can't pull it up, bro.
It's like whatever you have the most experience with, go with that.
I'll say too, something about the stress. Too was like, I have had a lot of stress inoculation, so maybe it's mitigated for me. But when I went there, I felt very confident in myself. I was like, I don't know much about USPSA, but I know my kit, I know my gun, I know my capabilities, and I just went there and was like, I'm just gonna run this and focus on being safe and enjoying it. And I did not feel stressed. Like the timer went off, I'm like, all right, I'm just doing my thing. So that might help people. It's like your first few times, like, yeah, it's supposed to be fast, but like, just do what you know, to get comfortable with it. Because like my first time doing it,
get familiar with the game.
Yeah, because your first time, like, I missed fucking targets and just like little dumb mistakes like that. So, yeah.
Regularly, which is totally cool, but competition day is not the day to learn this, especially with this.
Darth Dildo, please. Nobody go and read.
Oh my god, that's the most raunchy one.
Oh no,
absolutely no.
Okay. On the off chance that she sees this, we're joking. Like, these are jokes, please. Like we gotta emphasize that these are jokes. Hands up, don't shoot. Black Lives Matter. Okay.
Yeah, she does watch the channel.
Yeah, you never know, dog. You never
know.
She's
gonna see.
No, I do know. I know she watches the channel. I've seen it before.
Well, no, she's been in the chat several times before. Many times.
Yeah. Yep, and she's commented on the other videos before too, so she will see this.
No, I apologize in advance.
The setup, height over bore is a real thing, especially when you add in a little extra height. Yes. You don't.
That's
is
like
it's very tall.
Inches.
That's very tall.
Some would say that's a lot.
Wait a second.
On that pistol brace.
What's the carry handle cost? Like $60, $80, $100?
About 80.
Average. Come on, 80. Like 50 to 90.
Well, that's so much cheaper than a Hydra mount.
Exactly. I'm gonna make a video on it tonight, I think. Brother.
Bro,
is that fixed?
Yeah,
it looks like it because it's like an H&R because it's got the weird.
It's 100% fixed.
The most base gun manufacturer, LaRue Tactical, makes the Accurizer made just for her.
Oh my god!
Make the hot mod special PCC.
Yep.
I want to be running the clock and figuring out shot placements while you're already trying to progress to the next target. This kind of brings me to my biggest gripe with USPSA matches, and this is something I've heard said before, but it doesn't really resonate until you run a match yourself and kind of look at the breakdown of your scores. There were stages that I had a really great hit factor, but I was slow, so I wound up placing horribly compared to other people.
So just to be clear, when she says hit factor,
I think she's meaning she has great hits.
That's correct. So I was gonna say that. So hit factor is points divided by time. So big time means no points.
Or points per second.
Yeah.
Right.
Simple.
Yeah. Essentially that too. So I think what she meant is that she had a lot of A's, but a lot of A's in a lot of time doesn't matter. That's not relevant.
Low hit factor.
That's not relevant to the game of USPSA.
So she's complaining that the scoring is not the way she likes it.
No. She's not complaining. She was just stating how she did.
She did state
she was saying
that she doesn't like. Let me back it up. This is something I think.
Let's make sure we're hearing what she's saying correctly.
Well, I think she said that this is something that she does not like, does not agree with.
Yeah.
And this is something I've heard said before.
Sorry, not far enough.
Figuring out shot placements while you're already trying to progress to the next target. This kind of brings me to my biggest gripe with USPSA matches, and this is something I've heard said before, but it doesn't really resonate until you run a match yourself and kind of look at the breakdown of your scores. There were stages that I had a really great hit factor.
So that is her gripe with USPSA, and I disagree. So for instance, the A box is pretty generous, C's and D's. You lose 2 points for C's and 4 points for D's, right? So
if you're shooting minor power factor,
right? But we're just assuming everybody's shooting minor power factor.
Most people are.
So because of that, you still need to prioritize A's. However, going bang, bang into the A zone. Not fast enough. Not even close.
You got to go fast
for these. So, and another thing, if you're talking about, well, I would only ever go for A zone hits. It's like an AA like here and here versus an AC here and here. It's the exact same effect on target, but one of them is worth less points. So I don't bring in tactics to USPSA. I think that's silly. It is a game. And the point of the game is maximum speed plus maximum precision, right? And what separates the best shooters. So for instance, there's matches where I will shoot 2-3 seconds faster than somebody, but I got 5 Ds and a mic. So I lost to the guy who shot slower.
Yeah. That's a lot of points lost.
He cleared a lot more points than I did, even if he was 2-3 seconds slower. Now, at
both matter.
I require raw speed champ every match. Raw speed champ.
Well, and if you're incredibly slow, like, guess what? You deserve to have less points than the guy who shot 12 more Cs than you did, but did it in half the time. Because I would even argue from a tactical perspective, those hits that much faster is way more effective than your alphas very slow. Right.
Yeah. And if you like a scoring system that prioritizes accuracy above all, then you can do IDPA, right? Because
IDPA does have more tactical.
It is the more tactical stuff.
Yeah, but it heavily penalizes you for misses, like very heavily. Like accuracy is extremely important.
There's other methodologies. I think it's time plus, where you lose like a minute per miss or something like that. So there are systems that prioritize good hits more, but USPSA is very balanced for the type of game that it is. If you go into a USPSA match and you're mad that it's not a precision match, it's like, well, you signed up for a USPSA match, though. That's what that's the rules, right? So, and I think of it not as like a PRS style match, but as a race.
Even in PRS, you still want to be fast.
Of course. But like, what's a good example? So it's not golf.
Like bench rest group shooting.
Yeah, it's not golf. It's not bench rest. It's high speed, and it is the speed at which you can get good hits. Right. Yeah. So if you get good hits but have no speed, it's still kind of irrelevant. You have to do both. To do both.
But I was slow, so I wound up placing horribly compared to other people who might have hit, as opposed to me, who I hit mostly alphas. I forgot a lot of targets just because, but the ones that I did hit, I hit really great. And I wasn't necessarily the worst shooter, but I certainly.
Yeah, well, and that's alphas aren't going to save you from 2 mics plus an FTSA because it's minus 30 points. So
because you get the you don't get any points from it, so it's effectively minus 10 points. But then it's either I forget if it's minus 10 or minus 15 for the FTSA penalty.
Yeah.
So the statement
it's okay though,
to shoot at.
It's okay though because penalties at speed don't matter.
True.
Okay, well,
the faster you are, the less the penalty matters. Go fast.
That is true.
There was a guy who missed a steel activator at the end of a stage, so he missed the steel and then 2 on the target that would have activated, and he still ended up placing overall on the stage because he was the fastest, right?
Yeah.
So
but the statement, the statement.
Lance,
statement she made, though.
Lance is fast, boys. Lance is fast, but when you get both of those things together, that's where the real harmony happens.
The magic happens.
Yeah, but the statement that she made that like she missed a lot of targets, that tells me that kind of explains why she didn't do very well.
Well, right. So that's the thing.
Right.
It doesn't matter how many alphas you get if you miss targets. Like again, you're
losing a lot.
Up penalties, and you're slow to begin with, right? So and now that's fine to go there.
That's fine. First match ever. I don't expect you to be the greatest and super fast and all that. It's like I don't expect that.
Okay, so here's a terrible combination. Okay, this actually happened at a dark match. So this is a night match. So either white lights or NVGs. First time shooter, first ever competition. First up on the stage.
Nice.
No practice.
The ultimate combo.
Should be able to say, hey, this is my first time ever doing it. Can you bump me down a couple?
I'm not sure if we did end up bumping him down, but he did show up and was like, yeah, this is my first time. And and it was also
so lesson to any of you guys are out there. If you get to it's your first match or anything like that, if you're like first one or two up on the list, like if you're like either about to shoot on deck or in the hole, ask, hey, can you butt me down a bit or put me last, something like that. So you, since it's your first time, you can see a couple of people go through, and you can kind of get an idea of, all right, how is it generally going to be shot?
Yeah.
No, you do it. You go first. You royally fuck it up on purpose, but act like you know what you're doing. So everybody tries to copy you, and they fail.
Anyone who knows what they're doing is not going to do that.
I'm joking. It was a joke.
Bones, you've gone to exactly one match, and you purposely went into the stages blind with no walkthrough.
I did. I was a total goober about it because so I showed up with a battle belt from the military.
Hey, and there's nothing wrong with running a battle belt. I ran a battle belt my first time. Unsealed it.
A battle belt.
In a level 2 holster. And I was like, I'm gonna do what I know, because what I know is tactical shooting, and I'm gonna be this dork, and I'm gonna do tactical shooting. So when they set up the matches and all that, I mean, I looked at them, but I didn't walk through them at all. I did nothing. I was like, this is gonna be like I just kicked down this fucking door, and I'm gonna have to shoot these targets, okay? And that's how I treated it, because that's what I know. So it's like, no, we're not gonna try to war game this. We're just gonna go for it.
Yeah, I mean, for the record, you're not a dork for showing up in a battle belt, because that's how everybody starts shooting most of these matches.
Oh yeah, that's how most people shoot. One of the guys at a local club in Coeur d'Alene, he ran his battle belt with a Safariland level 2 holster. He ran that all the way up until he got, I forget if it was either until he got, no, it was up until he got to master. Or did he do it when he got to GM? No, because he was still master when I saw last. He worked his way all up to master, running full-on battle belt, Safariland holster, all that until he got master. Then he went and he got a fellow gamer fag belt.
Hell yeah!
You can run a battle belt and do well.
We're 2 hours into the stream. The YouTube bot is known to stop at 2 hours in, so you can basically do whatever you want.
Let's go! Everybody pull the gun.
No.
Don't do that. There's nothing.
No. We're not 2 hours in on YouTube.
Yeah, I regret saying that immediately. Chuck for that's true actually. Chuck for $5 says yes, and the importance of time or hits changes by stages. Sometimes you got to prioritize time. Sometimes hits.
Yes.
Obviously, A's in a quick time is ideal.
That's when you're really getting deep into the weeds of the game.
No, that's false. Raw speed.
Just sprint through it. Shoot one time, 1A.
I'm gonna pull up a Linux match before we end this. One small ball for $2 says Jesse is my favorite short gun tuber. Sorry, John. Damn it. All right.
Rip.
Certainly was not the fastest shooter. I think USPSA is great for building good skills with movement and being able to quickly process your environment. But I do have some gripes over the scoring process because of that. It's not necessarily developing better shooters, just faster ones.
Excuse me?
Sorry. Maybe there was more in this that I disagreed with. Can I listen to that statement in full again?
But I do have some gripes over the scoring process because of that. It's not necessarily developing better shooters, just faster ones. I
have to be fast and accurate.
So can I ask a question then? If the claim is that USPSA does not develop better shooters, just faster shooters, did the person who won the match, was he the best shooter there?
Well, so it depends, I guess, on like what's your definition of better shooter? Because I think some people, they're going to go into a USPSA match and
well, so I think best means, especially in the context of USPSA, fastest person to clear the course with the most A's. Like that sounds pretty damn good
time,
to me.
Most points.
Yes.
We actually just changed the scoring after this one. It's golf scoring now. The higher or the lower you score, the better.
I freaking guess. Yeah, no. We're changing to bullseye scoring, where we have like tiny little rings as aim point. We have like 10 seconds to shoot 5 rounds.
Bring it back to the 80s, boys. Bullseye target.
Yeah. So sorry, Jesse. I fully disagree with that. I think USPSA style shooting, the fast plus accuracy, is like the penultimate something. The best shooting, like that's objectively almost right, because if you take a guy, any grandmaster, and put him in any shooting scenario, the shooting skills are still there. right?
Yes.
So regardless of your scoring system, like the best shooter is going to be the best at shooting. That's I don't know, like,
and if you take these guys who are like top level, and they might throw the occasional Charlie or even a Delta when they're running top speed, if you slow them down even 10%, they are going to be drilling all A zones consistently.
Yep.
Like it's not to make the claim that you produce worse shooters because you're prioritizing speed and accuracy instead of just accuracy.
It's nonsense.
I'm sorry, but it's wrong. It's just
well,
wrong.
so
But
and that's kind of the old FUD lore too of like smooth
The
as-
slow is smooth, smooth is
smooth,
fast,
smooth
sonny.
as fast.
Slow down and get your hits.
I have had
Yeah.
unironically people tell me that are like 20 or 30 spots behind me in a match.
Bruh.
Like all
Gotta see class guy come
I'm
up to
not,
you. Hey, man.
I'm not being mean, okay, but it's like maybe
Well,
not, bro.
look,
like
take their
maybe if
advice
we just look at our outcomes, we'll
Just
see.
to play devil's advocate, though, what if they just wait for you to mess up one stage and drop 35 points or 35 places? Or
Well,
whatever?
sure. Now, somebody could say that after that stage where I dropped 5 mics on it, and they could be like, bro, you need to slow down your hits, which wouldn't even be the accurate statement.
It
I
wouldn't be the accurate
physically moved my gun off of each target before I finished it.
Yeah,
so that
dragging
was
the gun
my problem. Yeah, it was on a 3-shot per target stage, which messed with my brain. So I did horrible. Now you can say, John, you had a really shitty stage performance. And I'd be like, yes, 100%. But just
Nope.
slowing down doesn't fix the fundamental problem that I had.
The guy who's
Yeah.
30 something places behind you is absolutely going to say you just need to slow down and follow and do what he does.
Well, I don't want
Slow
to be
down
rude
and get
to,
your hits.
but there are some people who have been playing the USPSA game for many, many, many years and have not improved. And then they give you advice on how to shoot better, and maybe it hasn't worked for them, probably won't work for you.
I bet
so.
that they'll probably take your money to teach you how to do it as well.
Was that a fucking 320?
Was that I'm not gonna do 320, bro? This chat is it just got worse. It got no, gosh dang it got worse.
Yeah.
Good grief, people.
You have some gripes over the scoring process because of that. It's not necessarily developing better shooters, just faster ones. I personally plan to continue to run courses at a speed that I can make successful shots. My goal is to get faster.
Good.
So-
and the more that you do it, the faster and better at shooting.
Well,
you will
that's
get.
yes.
Well, but here's the thing: if I don't want to put words on her, I'm not going to say the other thing because people are going to say that in chat. But I hope that she doesn't mean I'm going to do what I feel comfortable with, because part of growth is being uncomfortable, whether it's lifting, right? With lifting, we are going to start to lift heavy objects that are now more uncomfortable than before. That is how we get stronger. With shooting, if you want to get better at shooting, you're going to shoot faster at longer distances, more awkward positions, harder targets to build up the foundational skills, just like anything. With race car driving, we're going to now drive faster. We're going to corner harder. We're going to brake later, right? To try and push what we can do. So it is about being uncomfortable. Now, maybe in a match, you don't go at 105% speed like you might try
You go
in
at
training.
95.
Well, right. In training, you might push way beyond what you can actually do, just to see where you literally fall apart at, and then kind of dial it back until you no longer fall apart at that speed, right?
Yep.
So, and there's different mentalities for it too, because you can go into a match with the idea that I am just going to go retard speed the entire time, right? And just see how it goes, right?
Well,
you can do that.
Monkey mode speed.
And just see how it does. How it does.
You had to mention growth.
I'm trying to avoid all these words and phrases, and it is not helping the chat. Creek Shoe Operator for 199 says, does she have a pedigree, though? I'm not sure what her favorite dog food is, though she does have a dog. So you could ask her that. Dogman Defense for $2 says, does she get a score handicap for the autism?
Oh man,
I need to be getting one of those.
Yeah, I need that too. What the hell?
Yo, CB do looking mad down. I can't lie.
Wait a minute. How is this even possible?
Shadow Force killing me.
Jake's
Says,
here
isn't
twice.
any speed
There's two
you go
Jakes.
retard speed though? Bro murdered me live on TV. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
just
like
got
like
murdered.
in training, like when I'm practicing doubles, like my shot timer is busted, so I can't really check my actual splits, but I know I am in my practice, my splits for doubles are significantly faster than they are in actual matches. In actual matches, I'm sitting between 0.2 to 0.25 in my splits, whereas in my training, it's like I'm sitting down between like 0.18 to 0.2. So it's like I'm pushing pushing speed faster and just more aggressive to push past the breaking points, see what I need to work on, and practice more of that in dry fire.
I agree with you that I also do that in training, but for me, I feel like I need to be doing basically, because I know that I can hit these speeds in training, so I need to hit these speeds in a match consistently. So that's what I feel like. For me, I know that in a match, sometimes I'm intentionally slowing down a little bit, but I feel like I should be comfortable just going at the max speed that I know that I can execute in training. I feel like I'm intentionally going a little slow.
I had this saying that I would tell myself as well, like after training, I would just be, what do you call it? Just be like, hey, if I want to win this match, this is the speed I have to shoot. And then I just go absolutely full retard on the stage. Right, that's
Charlie
the way
Delta,
to do it. Though.
Charlie Delta, do Delta.
It's the way to do it, though. Honestly, like today, I trained. What do you call it? To try and get consistent 1-2, 1-3 splits, and
spicy,
fast. And then I was like, okay, let me actually try and shoot alphas, and I was able to get 1-5s all alphas just consistently at different different distances. But that was the way for me to like practice that.
Yeah.
At being good in building proper muscle memory, but it's human instinct to see that timer go and just want to instantly be as fast as possible and kind of forget everything else. And I know some people are going to say like, oh, you should have the good muscle memory and yada, yada, yada. And I get that, but you need to build up to that.
See, I don't, I think that's kind of FUD lore too, the muscle memory thing.
Yeah.
I think you should have the confidence in your abilities, in your grip, in your vision to execute at your level, right? Whatever that may be.
And it's natural to feel stress when under time. That's normal.
That's part of the point
that occurs. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like to be upset about that, just kind of human nature. So
I think some people experience that at their first match and they either like it or they don't. And that's kind of a big determining factor as to whether or not they'll come back or if they'll just be the person that always says, oh yeah, I'll try to make it and then never show up.
Yeah.
Well, right. Shadow Force says people aren't going as fast as possible and throwing everything else out the window though. I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
I will say, I think she is kind of overthinking her first match a bit too much. I think she need when I start, which I've got a match coming up sometime soon. I got a little bit.
Let's go.
Like I'm not gonna really judge how shitty I am until I run about 3 or 4 matches to really get my fucking like steps in. I think kind of judging and being a little too critical on yourself on the first go hard is really going to dissuade yourself and possibly others too. I mean, we see that with people doing other hobbies and such.
Yeah, I mean,
you are always at the end of the day your own harshest critic.
Very true.
At first,
Very true.
I would say at first starting out, just judge based off of your own performance last time. Just keep on trying to do better than you did last time. And then as you move on, then you can see the people that you shoot with where they usually place and then kind of say, okay, I'm going to try and place here this time. So you might start out in your first match, you shoot, I don't know, 4th from the bottom. And then 5 matches in, you might be, you know, halfway, middle of the pack.
Yeah,
and then you just keep kind of going up. But don't try and, especially early on, don't try and focus on, oh, I want to place wherever, because that's just it just doesn't really work out.
The best piece of advice that I was given when I was getting into USPSA, I've only been shooting for like 10 months, was you are only competing against yourself at these matches. If you're afraid of looking like a dumbass in front of somebody else, everybody else is worried about looking like a dumbass or shooting like shit. So
that's
at that point,
that's the saying, right? Is nobody thinks about you as much as you think about you.
Yeah,
right?
Very true.
Yeah, because
Very
they're
true.
all thinking about themselves. Okay, going out there and trying to do the best that they can. But the one little issue that I have before I get back to Lost Arrow is that it sounds a little bit. I know she's going to get into the match in just a second, but more that she's complaining about the USPSA rules versus her own performance. Because if I went slow and did bad, I would just say I went slow and did bad, not the rules are disadvantaging me. or I don't like the way the rules are set up.
I don't think she's saying the rules are disadvantaging her or anything. To just the way the scoring. She just gives away scoring.
The unfamiliarity with how the scoring
that effect as well.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Oh no!
If you want to keep people up at night thinking about you,
why is that? Why can I see bullets?
I don't need no RSO.
Yeah, it's if you can make out details of the barrel, you're having a bad day.
Yes.
Oh no!
Imagine.
Oh look, rifling.
it's like.
Yo, you don't know it, but if you
that's
alpha
because
the RO, that's extra points.
Why are you calling out braced PCCs?
Well, because I don't think you're supposed to use braced PCCs in USPSA.
If memory serves, they have to be SBRs. If you have one,
you have to remember. So
whatever.
I do want to be clear. I do want to be clear that I'm not defending USPSA. Like they're kind of gay.
Yeah.
Like to be fair.
I do.
So just the point isn't the organization of USPSA. Forget that.
Yeah.
The point is like going and shooting and then seeing. Basically, it's a good way to compare yourself to other shooters. And when somebody says they're a good shooter, but they've never shot a match, like they might be a very good shooter, but I don't know how good they are. Basically. Yeah. So like before I had shot a match, like I might say, oh, I think I'm pretty good. But then you go to a match and you're like, well, actually, John, you're not quite as good as you think you are, sir.
When does USPSA host a match in inner city Detroit? That's the real question.
Dude,
there might be some actually.
How many people?
I'll have to practice score.
Banned at least once, but he is not he is. Sorry, but USPSA is a big game.
They're always training in inner cities. Don't you hear the shot timers going off all the time?
They're slowly getting. Actually, it's funny. I have a match Thursday. Tomorrow is a training day. Thursday is a Thursday night match with the USPSA Area 3 director, Andy. So I'll be shooting in a squad with Andy this weekend, and he's one of the area directors. So I mean, I talk to these people. I know these people. They are getting better. So I mean, there is lots of issues with the organizations, but the people themselves really nice.
Quick question.
At muscle memory.
Go for it.
Could you run a USPSA match with a Draco?
No.
If it's in 9 mil, yes.
Would it be major power class if
the
you
closest
did?
to being
if it's in 7.6239, no, you cannot.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a pistol caliber.
You gotta have the KP9 from KUSA.
You know what? Acceptable.
You need to work those skills prior, and a competition is not going to be the place that you develop those better. I would rather have good shot placement and build up to faster speeds as I get more comfortable with movement than run through competitions and care mostly about fast speeds and compromise my shot placement. Not that USPSA is bad, not that.
Well, so I think this to me signifies that you're not comfortable shooting at speed. Because
that's where training, you got to practice that.
The double taps are very easy, especially with the PCC. Like it takes very little training to get up to very quick splits, and you'd be very surprised about how fast you can maintain alphas out to 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 yards with the PCC. So, I mean, I think it might be uncomfortable for you, but I think doing that in training, and that's why just that one interview that I did with Ben like 6 to 8 months ago, whenever that was, and I asked him what the best drill was, and he said doubles. Just integrating that 100%. Into every single training session that I do has drastically transformed the way that I shoot. Just understanding that the way I grip the gun and at 40 yards, I can pull off a double with a rifle without thinking about it, drastically changed. Because before I'd be like 40 yards, like bang, bang. Right, because I'm staring at the dot, trying to make sure it's super precise. But it's like, no, you can just go bang, bang with a good grip on the target. And at 40 yards, like you'll be fine. So I think it is just a comfortability at speed that you probably already have the base skills. You just don't know that you have them. So training it in there, and then the movement, which is, probably more complicated than the shooting a lot of times. The stage maneuvering might be more complex than the actual shooting.
That's where it was first match I shot, where there was one stage where it was start at the front and work your way the whole way back, and I was so afraid to just move at all with the gun. I was like, I have to run back towards people with a gun in my hand. This is scary. I don't want to DQ.
Well, what's that drill that you did with Hunter? Was it get off the X or something?
It was the like 5-position X.
Yeah, it's a 5-position extra where you're running between each one. I think that's a good way to do it because it's pretty. Once you figure out that you just hold the gun pointed downrange and then just run, whichever way that you turn, the gun just stays pointed downrange.
You back there or you have it over your shoulder like that.
Well, yeah, some of the matches I look retarded because I'm running like this with the gun like underneath my arm basically, so I don't flag myself. But it is what it is. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
That I didn't learn a lot from this, and I do want to continue doing more. I just think it's something that shooters should be cognizant of so that they don't fall into the trap of maybe not being as accurate for the sake of speed. I don't think that's a good.
Logan's shaking angrily right now.
I do hate that target right there. I feel that because the target is folded over and I'm dealing with 4 inches height over bore on that stupid PCC. So you're literally aiming above the target because the head's just bent over. That sucks.
If there's one thing she learned, it's hide over bore. That's the one thing she really learned.
No kidding.
Triangle fire time, boys.
Because I mean, I don't want to like dog on our shooting skills. Let me back up.
Shooters should be cognizant of so that they don't fall into the trap of maybe not being as accurate for the sake of.
So, for instance, she's pulling off doubles at like maybe 5 yards, like bang, bang, right? When we can still maintain doubles with with just like bang, bang, right? Almost anyone can, right? Like we can look up a 11-year-old master female shooter. 12-year-old master female shooter and watch her with a handgun going bang, 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 bang,
we
bang,
look
reload,
up
bang,
12-year-olds? John, you look up 12-year-olds.
I realize the framing of that sentence may not have been the best.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. Who looks up 12-year-olds?
EDP.
Caught 4K. Caught him, boys.
All right. Well, you have a good stream, Rich.
Damn.
Well, we got him, boys.
We got him. He's got
FBI, open up.
Yeah, FBI, open up.
Honestly,
we just got asses kicked.
Damn.
John, I think you should have had Stoger on to talk about this one. I feel like he would have had some interesting things to say about this.
That target presentation's fucked up, though. I do feel that.
That it is. That is very messed up target. It should not be.
No, that I do feel bad about
Very
that.
common for targets over the internet.
No, that's a normal
update
target
on
list.
Steger does want to do a big live at some point.
Huge.
So I got him to come back on, and we'll probably have some. I got something lined up. I kind of want to do him and Matt at the same time. Don't cook that. But I kind of want to have both of them.
Wait,
at the same time.
hold on, wait a minute.
That would be fun. Okay, I'm just saying.
Time out.
I think that would be a good talk.
Gay.
Hop, come back as well.
Getting wrecked
Flag
out.
on the play.
Gosh,
Flag on the
dang
play.
it. This is me to Richard Lee.
Oh man.
Yo,
All
you should bait Ben Steger into talking about the Shadow 2 versus the 2011, and then
Bro,
get
he
him
dropped
to
a
rant.
45-minute video.
Bro, I was at work and I was like, "Holy shit, this is a long ass video." It was great.
Dude,
The
if you can
comments
keep
were
Ben in one spot for
gold.
45 minutes, it's got to be interesting. So
Yeah.
Although it's funny mentioning Shadow 2, I think the Shadow 2 is going to be my next carry optics, and probably next year. Next year will be a Shadow 2. That's what I'll remember.
Megabase.
I know that's like the best.
You don't feel like joining the limited optics gang yet, dude?
Limited optics
Okay,
gang.
so I don't know if you saw this, Lance, but I am signed up for a double classifier next week. Once in limited optics, once in carry optics with the exact same gun, just with a magazine well on it.
Nice.
There you go.
For limited optics, so it's the same gun, 2 classes. So that'll be
My
fun. But I'm
production
cheating
boys
because
at.
I only care about my carry ops classifiers. So I'm doing the first one in limited as my dry run, and then getting to do it again, but in carry.
That's the way to do it.
So,
Do the division you don't care about as much first, then do your one you actually care about.
That's awesome.
I love
that. You should,
Yeah. So it should be
And
fun.
that is very common for classifier matches for people to run like 2 or even 3 divisions.
Well, dude, so the first like 3 or 4 people that signed up for the thing were all one division, just going across for the 2 different squads that were running.
John, you mind if Spaz joins?
Bro, I cannot stand that. No, I'm just kidding.
That is the worst, dude.
He tried to bribe me
I
in
hope Spaz is
DMs.
doing well.
How
I
drunk
heard.
is he?
Well,
Gotta find out.
I already have Glocks that I can run, so I have the polymer framed guns. Like that's all chill. I have a steel framed gun that I'm running right now, but I kind of want the DASA because that's something that I have never done before. So I think that would be fun for the Shadow.
I will say I own the Shadow 2 and the CZ SPO1. I honestly kind of prefer the SPO1 more than the Shadow 2, which is surprising because they're kind of like somewhat similar but different. But
the SPO1 is definitely. It is definitely nicer. I've shot both of them.
I don't know why it's nicer. The Shadow 2, like it's heavy, it's cool looking, but like when I shot it compared to my SPO1, I was like, I kind of fuck with the SPO1 a lot more than the Shadow 2.
I'll have to try them both out because I do have a local range. Spaz, how is your night going tonight, sir?
Bro,
cool
update
on the left.
Yo,
what up,
Lamos on the right.
Homie, straight from South
stream.
Get me the hell out of here.
I'm surprised Spaz didn't immediately leave when he saw a woman.
Wow. Wow.
Viewership crashed to 0 immediately. Unbelievable. Yeah. Okay, actually, LTT Beretta, I actually did like the one LTT Beretta that I did shoot. I like that quite a bit. So that's also tempting.
My LTT Beretta is the most unreliable gun in the fucking world. Let's go.
Did you well wait, LTT from the, did you change any springs on it?
Oh no, so it's a 92X with all the LTT parts kit in it, and it is the most unreliable gun I have.
That's
good
something
luck finding
I'm
a
worried
holster
about.
For Beretta, bro. Good luck.
Because like with striker fired guns, it's like I changed a recoil spring. Wow, and it's it still works. And it's like all these other. I changed out the hammer spring and the trigger return spring and this spring and this spring, and now it doesn't work anymore. It's like surprising.
Like
that's gamer build for you.
Yeah, I'm $300 into springs on the gun alone. Man,
real.
Meanwhile, the AR you can use a D10 spring as the fucking safety spring, and it works.
That was a good video. I like that.
You need D10s? What are you talking about? All right, here we go.
Can't call them that anymore.
Speed, I don't think that's a good trade-off. I mean, if you hit the target, you hit the target, I guess, at the end of the day. But
I would rather
trade-off,
but whatever.
Kind of
well, so hit the target if you hit the target. I think this is where her ballistic autism comes from because she's a ballistician and studies like this sort of stuff.
Where it's the hyper precision kind of bench stress style shooting.
Again, keep in mind that a D is literally worth 80% less points than an alpha. So if you run through a course as fast as possible and hit like 10 Ds, like you ain't winning. Not even close.
Who is this chick? I'm sorry.
This is Boondock Ballistician.
It's the first woman Spaz has ever seen.
Yeah, what is this? I don't understand this femcell phenotype. What is this?
Spaz was like, what is this thing, and how do I acquire one?
Put two alphas
you can find them at the park. They're free.
What's this object?
What kind of
the main issue?
PCC? I've never seen one before.
I think
the
this
main
is
issue
phenotype. Honestly, this is like
the main issue I'm seeing is that she thinks there's a binary choice between speed and accuracy. When in fact you can just kind of like bring them both up at the same time. Yeah, it takes work and practice.
It's just practice.
That's the magic of USPSA, and it's also a little bit of a self-report when you're saying like I would rather go slow and get hits than go faster and not get hits, because that means that by definition, if you went faster, you would no longer get hits, basically. So it's which is fine because you're your first USPSA match and at whatever level of training you happen to be at. But the point there is to then get more training to become mo better, and better does rely on speed in USPSA, 100%.
Of the day, but I would rather make effective shots. Kind of sticking on the topic of being comfortable with your gear after my little time tangent here. It does include being prepared for any known hangups that your weapon might have. This is an obvious one. Some guy at the competition, his optic wobbled off while he was shooting a course. That obviously threw him for a loop. I know the 635 here can be a little tricky with inserting the mags, so going into this.
What about this video made you think of an all transgender militia glow so bright? That's my
well, that face doesn't help right there. That pause face does not help.
I think that he's. I think that's normal.
Yeah, guys. Honestly, just because her opinion is invalidated, doesn't mean you have to be mean. Okay,
bruh.
True.
No, I don't think they're being mean. I think that Bucky just has a tendency to think about transgenders often.
I'm not talking about Bucky. I'm just talking about
Bucky
everybody
does
else.
do a lot of very intensive transgender research.
His autistic and
transitions.
I had it in my head that an improperly seated mag would probably be the cause of malfunctions for me. So I was very aware of it when an issue did come up. That was the first thing I assumed, which was pretty good. But my first malfunction did send me off the rails. Just as I started to settle into the competition and get less nervous, my weapon stops feeding. And it's very hard to not let the panic set in and get flustered about it, especially when you have a timer, especially when you have people looking at you. And while in my head I knew I should just take a breath and reset.
So my second competition, I wish I could grab my gun and show you, but my second competition, while it was a classifier, of course, it was one where you had to do a mandatory reload. And I, at one point, I fumbled the reload so bad to where I gave up on the magazine. I physically could not get the magazine in the gun. I dropped it and moved on to a backup magazine. I said, nope,
that's how you do it.
Screw it. I am moving on. So what should have taken about 2 seconds ended up taking 7 sequence. So
brutal.
Very rough. So I literally fought with a magazine for like 4 seconds in my palms and in my chest, bobbling it, trying to get it to go. And before I just was like, nope, we're done with this. We'll get a mulligan on this.
Your palms were sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on your USPSA sweater already. Spaghetti.
Nice.
That's true.
Set myself. Nerves are a bitch and don't exactly let you easily do that.
True.
But at least if you have a good idea of where your weapon's limitations fall and what is a most likely cause of malfunction, you can work through it a bit easier despite all of that kind of adrenaline and nerves working through. We all know bad weather.
Well, so that's a really good point that we've kind of talked about before, but it's the base underlying skills that you have are like almost the only thing that you can rely on. Like, but guess what? If those skills are not there and you get into a stressful situation, you don't got nothing to rely on.
You don't got nothing.
Good luck.
and especially compounds if you're unfamiliar with the weapon or if you're unfamiliar with kind of the general thing.
I think it just boils down to like, if you have confidence, you'll do better and you'll feel more comfortable. And if you don't, then it'll suck more.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say that because you can have all the confidence in the world, but if you have no experience with it, you're not going to do well.
Well, I mean, with ARs and handguns, like there is a certain amount of similarity that should be, like, for instance, if you handed me your staccato, I wouldn't. The first thing I would do or would not do is put it in my mouth. Like, is this the grip? Is this the grip?
I got a mouth.
I can't test the lip zone on this thing.
Lip zone is so tasty, just delectable.
Bro, Ivan, that is rough on me. Gotta crash out. I've been conscripted to help my cousin move in New York City, bro.
Best of luck to you, dude.
F's in the chat for that, man. That is
Homie is
rough.
literally going to a fucking PvP GTA server. RIP.
Bro, I kind of wish we got PvP New York City before GTA 6.
Can impact your weapon operation, and my first comp was run in torrential rain. It was very muddy. It was a constant drizzle the entire time.
Well, no, dude, I hate that though, because if you're not wearing, well, even if you are wearing cleats and in certain mud, it's just miserable. It's a slip and slide, and you're like, well, this sucks. So the fastest person who does not slip wins.
Question with USPSA regulations: can they have hay bales and just toss out straw so that there's grip back on the ground?
If you do that, you can get DQ'd for modifying the stage.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
And so it's complex because, like, at a higher level stage, it has to be even for all competitors.
Correct.
So if they did it for one but not others, that would be a big problem. But most likely, we're talking about a very low level stage where they could, if they wanted to. Most of the time, though, they just tell you good luck.
Yeah, tough deal.
It's okay.
Do not DQ.
You can carry pocket sand with you in case you need to not slip on that ice patch.
Unless you need to blind the RO while you fly yourself or do something unsafe.
Hey, watch out!
Pocket sand.
As somebody who
is
lives,
just swapping between Rumble and YouTube for some reason.
Hell yeah.
testing out the different
stream got
mouthfeel
taken down
platforms.
earlier. I watched that. That was very fun.
I was so sad about that. This would have been a great episode.
It's honestly all your fault, Spaz.
I
Why
mean,
weren't you here to save
yes.
As
Um,
somebody who lives in Colorado,
was-
though, you should keep some crampons in your car for walking on ice and extra grip.
The reason I wasn't here,
And in
I
case
had
you need to kick them up.
Yeah, that too.
I had to have a conversation with Josh in an AR-15.
I was going in and out, having very
The
heavy
wine.
downpours.
The wine, Josh.
Things were wet. Things were muddy.
Oh, also, if you've never started with your pistol on your belt before, it can be awkward to get that first shot off.
Yes.
That's something I had to practice a lot because I on my belt. What are you talking about? It's low ready or it's high ready, you dork. But no, it's like on your belt, pointed down range. No.
That's how you have to start.
Makes it obviously a little bit more tricky and
With PCC, you have to start stock touching belt, pointed down.
99% of the time, it's starting stock on belt.
Oh,
Schwarzenegger stance.
Honestly,
got it.
My favorite thing is seeing other clubs in their USPSA stages. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah, it's this is something else. But yeah, Spaz, you just have an hip fire and you start ripping off shots, you'll be DQ'd because you are not aiming.
In this configuration, this is a jungle walk stage.
in terms of maneuvering your firearm, charging, reloading, things like that, because everything's slick. But the biggest issue came in for me was with dropping the mags. Standard practice, you don't think twice about it as you're running the course, but after the magazine started to get a little bit too muddy, they started gunking up and I had a huge issue. So my biggest malfunction and biggest personal hang up with this match was a direct product of mud being in the magazine.
That's brutal.
PSA plus Colt Mags strikes again.
I mean, hey, Colt Mag Air 9's mega based.
Dogman Defense. I see you super chatted $1 on Rumble and left a singular letter. But unfortunately, I can't pull up super chats. I can't pull up super chats from Rumble on YouTube.
Is it between a B and an M?
Well, we got an I. We got a follow up. So we have one letter and then an I. Do we have a G? We have they broke the chain, so we only got the NIG.
What does that spell out? Night?
Never forget Clay Code 2025.
Bro, yeah.
It's just
Did I tell
an
you he
anagram for
responded to me?
ginger.
He was like, so what's up with hard R's in the chat? And I was like, oh, well, it's my Discord guys. They get a little spicy sometimes.
Silly.
So you
her
did
voice
talk to
waiver
him?
stresses me out. It sounds like she's about to cry. She does have a little bit of a waver in her voice, which not going to be everybody's favorite. That's fine.
That's what I was about to say earlier.
I did
She
reach
sounds
out
like
to
she's crying.
Clayco. I after we did that to a stream, I was like, "Hey man, great stream. Really enjoyed you having Mike on. Sorry about the chat being a little spicy." And he was like, "Yeah. So what about all the?" I was like, "Why are you guys doing that?" And it's like, "Oh well,
it's just some letters."
Did you
For a bunch of
ask him
reasons.
why I caught the stray?
No,
that was funny. You had nothing to do with it.
Why did you ban my producer? We're not having a counter stream to Clayco's stream, calling him out for banning my producer.
Yeah,
I mean, we're rage baiting AK fans right now.
I showed up. Chat dropped in tower, and then I was like, "Oh, I hope I didn't cause that." And then I got banned.
You're not posting anything too.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bulge Deep. I can't even. So here's the thing. I can only pull up regular chats in Rumble because StreamYards was not originally connected to this YouTube account. It was connected to the other YouTube account. So Bulge Deep in Vagina for $4.99 says N. Creek Shoe Operator for $1.99 says I. Thank you very much for the dollars there, gentlemen. I would pull them up if I could, but we have an N and an I so far. We'll see if anyone answers your call. Moving on.
The first malfunction that I had, you can see here that I go to insert the mag, not feeding right. Try to clear it, rack it, nope, not feeding right. Pick up a new mag. Nope, not feeding right. I was having a terrible time with this and getting extremely flustered. I didn't realize it at the time because I was focused on just getting a functioning round through, a functioning mag in my gun. But when I had looked at the magazines afterward, I had realized that I could kind of turn it upside down and a few rounds would kind of rattle around. The spring tension wasn't holding properly.
L for Colt mags.
Yeah, that's some AR9 shit right there.
I have a bag of Colt mags sitting on the ground behind me. They stay in the bag. They never leave because they suck.
Well, yeah,
Also,
Glock
on
mags all the
YouTube, we
way.
have another letter. A third letter has hit the YouTube chat. We have a G from Logan Sucks at Shooting.
The YouTube chat is just full of pirates. We love hard R's.
It's him. It's him.
They're just Ruger fans. They want to talk about the Ruger hard R line.
Woman in PSA versus Dirt. Who will win? That's just mean.
I think she'd be a lot better at cleaning guns because, you know, it's transfer of knowledge.
Oh my goodness.
That's so wow. What had happened was I had dropped the mags in the mud. I went to go refill afterward, and I pushed more ammo.
A second G has hit the YouTube tower.
Let's go!
By a great name too, Mr. Phil McCrevis for $1.99. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that.
Relative
You're
to
a
Phil
real
McCracken.
G, sir. Yeah, that's good.
I get
that's
it.
a good one too.
Down, I just
two more
inherently pushed mud down with it, and it hit the point where it was gunked up enough, and suddenly I can't feed my firearm. I guess in this scenario, you know, I could have taken more time to clean the mag out as I was reloading for the next stage. I could have retained my mags in between.
Ladies and gentlemen, and E has hit the YouTube chat. Thank you, Fresh Pinochet, for the $2.
One more.
Also, yeah, so I did the same thing at sectional championships. There was a stage where I had to reload on the move while running forward, so I dropped the mag, and then somehow the mag fell perfectly upside down, and I speared it directly into the ground, so that when I took it out, it was full of like 3 inches of mud, or like soft dirt, just completely full. Like I had perfectly speared it into the ground with my feet as I was running. So my solution was, do not touch that. Do not touch that mag. Yeah, 3 inches soft.
Do not touch the 3 inches soft, guys.
Someone called that really.
That's
someone called that larger than average.
That's a lot.
Oh man.
Way too
Have you ever been feasted by an African king? It'll be me. God damn it.
The slow
I love his dead stare into the camera after that. Just
yeah, I mean that's why you bring extra magazines. You bring more than you need.
Yeah. But so anyway, so what I did was just don't touch that magazine for the rest of the match. Like just treat it like a redheaded stepchild.
Did she say how many mags she was running?
I think she had at least 3 in that stage because she was wearing a chest rig and had at least 2 extra because she tried a couple reloads in there, so she had at least 2.
I wasn't paying attention.
Or sorry, at least 2 extra mags, so 3 in total.
That's also super base. Show up to your first match with a chest rig full of mags. Pretty base. Not gonna
I had some pretty good shooters show up with chest rigs for PCC on certain stage for whatever reason. I don't know why they like that more than a belt. Maybe they feel they move faster, and if they're not going to reload anyways, they might as well have a chest rig.
Right. So PCCs, these Colt rounders are what, 33 in a magazine? 32. 32.
Yeah.
Why not just have a secondary in a, mag holder? And
well, so they're really
rounds the whole
tall.
match.
They're
Right.
really tall, but so most stages maximum are 32 rounds.
Right.
Most stages. So if you're running Glock mags with a +10, which a lot of guys do, you get 40 rounds, 43 rounds in the stage. So usually you never reload. So
and there's no mag limit for PCC.
Correct.
Really?
So you have extra ammo as an emergency, but you shouldn't actually need to reload. So there is some sense to not having any weight or restrictions around your waist. So I could kind of see that actually.
We have a guy at our club who shows up with the.
Let's go!
Oh shit!
Let's go!
It happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, and R has hit the YouTube tower with a very suspicious looking line of YouTube super chats that will show up in my creator dashboard later.
Let's
Quick
go.
shoe operator for $1.99 simply says R.
Let's go.
You got to be
That's
careful
my
with that one.
glasses.
That one's actually copyrighted.
What?
Last one,
Wild.
the last time
what
I
a
played that, I got a
turd bag.
copyright strike, and I had to cut out 3 seconds of audio. From a
Yeah.
3-hour
What a
stream, I had to
turd
cut out
bag.
3 seconds of audio.
What a-
to not
what a
get the
that
entire
guy.
thing.
This is my song. You cannot
It's
use
from
it.
a song, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, but it's like a
Mega
meme reaction
nice.
clip that's everywhere. So.
Yeah, use it on Instagram. Use it on
Still
Facebook.
gay.
Shadow.
Yes, Shadow.
Could you do the old
Would.
Vietnam duct tape a mag,
Yeah.
so you just have to flip it over and stick it in?
Yeah.
I was
that
thinking
legal?
just that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
see.
there's no mag limits on that for
Yeah, I guess
PCC.
that's
There's
true.
nothing
I've
saying you
seen-
can't have
I've seen people
couple mags. Where you just,
so I guess,
Right.
There,
I guess
there's,
you, yeah, a couple mags.
there's a guy at our club who shows up with a 33 round Glock mag with a 40+ round extension on the bottom of it. So he just we call it the baseball bat, and he runs around with 70 rounds in his gun.
Oh my
Wait,
goodness.
Can you? I gotta look this up now. That is wild that you said that. Glock plus 40 extension.
That's so fucking funny.
You want another
Google
mag?
Glock
Your
Rule
mag.
34 extension. What?
Glock 40.
This is my problem solver.
I love Glock 40.
I mean, the Glock Stallion division might have something to do with that.
Oh,
So
What are the ROs gonna
Oh,
say
no.
if you pull up with a full auto Glock or something at USPSA? They're like,
Yeah.
oh, well,
That would not be
Can't
allowed.
run that.
Full
You can get
autos
it-
are not allowed.
you can
call
get
you
away
a
with
full
wow.
auto
that.
in buildings.
One burst.
But is
We're really-
FRC allowed?
No,
No.
This is
no.
why
really taking away-
FRTs, super safeties, full autos are not allowed
we're really
Right.
taking
Oh
away the
my
total
because
God.
it's an unfair advantage.
I understand.
No
Well-
full auto in
Shoot
buildings.
faster than me.
Yeah.
Bro, I found actually, you know what? I do have a 50 round Glock drum over there, so maybe I can run that. Where's the freaking plus?
People run drums all the time. Like the reason some people will run like a stick mag over a drum set is balance, and sometimes the way the reliability as well, and also the drum, the Magpul drums are so stupid expensive.
I don't.
I think
know
one
the
drum is like
extension,
60 or
but I'm
100
trying to find
bucks.
it.
No, it's like $120.
The AR
Yeah.
120, 150.
Guys, you think that's expensive, but a single MBX Extreme open mag is like $140. So
What the fuck
those
is
are
an
only.
MBX
That's talking 2011 land. That's different.
Oh my goodness. There
So
it
that's
is.
a plus 20.
Yeah.
That- okay.
Yep.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's the
So,
those are the vector
Yeah.
vector extensions.
The guy
Yeah,
she
that's
told you
badass.
not to worry about.
I feel like I saw this in my mom's closet before.
Damn it! I knew somebody was gonna say it, and it had to be you, Spaz.
Of course it was.
It's just not something that was in my head while I was progressing. You know, it happens when I do my regular range days with my milsurps and stuff. Mags get dirty, clips get dirty. I understand that, and I respond accordingly. But under the pressure, it slips my mind. If I do run this
That happens.
in another competition, which I'm sure I probably will, and it happens to be shitty weather again, then I'm going to be more diligent in cleaning the mags in between stages and making sure that I'm not getting it gunked up so that I don't have that kind of failure again. So,
Especially after you do it in
your side,
2011 land,
my
depending on how
biggest
dirty
issue-
it is.
Yeah, dish soap doesn't
Correct.
work, by the way.
Gosh dang it, Spaz. Bulge deep into vagina for $4.99 says N towers can't melt steel beams. True,
That's
true
awesome.
words,
Mr.
sir,
President,
true
there's been
words.
another end tower.
A second N tower has fallen in chat today.
issue is movement, and this is probably the only real big issue. The gear problems were my own stupidity.
Was that a laugh echo?
That was creepy as shit.
That was really creepy.
That was like
Play that back.
child horror laughing
edit.
there.
I don't
Also,
know.
I did say
Here.
the music in the background is a vibe. I do find myself just listening to the music as it's going on, which I mean, you know, I guess it helps. I mean, I use video game soundtracks and do the same thing, but still.
Kind of failure again. So, gear aside, my biggest issue is movement, and this is probably the only real big issue. The gear
Movement
problems
eats
were
a lot
my
of
own.
people.
It was like
There
the
it is.
audio
Is that-
from the clip.
those-
like,
those
from
are
her
in the
shooting,
clip?
like she
I
was
think
laughing.
I think that's from the
That's-
match.
Yeah.
But she put
no,
on
that's
the
not from the
reverb.
match. Ain't no way.
That's
like
that's a reverb sound effect right there, homie.
Is movement, and this is probably the only real big issue. The gear problems were my own stupidity, and I acknowledge that.
Haunted tape.
Like I said at the beginning, I have never done this kind of movement before, and honestly, prior to maybe the past year or so, my shooting was largely stationary. I am more of a plinker. This past year, movement has been pretty limited to more linear paths. I haven't been having to worry about all the side-by-sides, hidden targets, moving targets, that kind of stuff.
Wait, was that actually her?
No, that was
at the match.
Her friend.
No, the laughing.
Her friend had ran. So she said that this is her friend's gun, or her friend had zeroed it and ran the match before her, or something like that. So she
that's her at the match. But
No. That's because look at the hair.
That's a different girl. Yeah, that's her friend.
Completely different.
But there's also a different
women
match.
that exist.
There's two
That's a different match too.
This is getting out of hand. Now there's two.
A second girl is in the live stream. Oh
They're
no!
literally
Shut it down. Shut it down.
turning
It's
one
over.
into 2, and then 2 into 4.
Oh,
To be fair, yeah, that is a different gun.
Nice. Good to
you
know.
saw the
I
other
didn't
one.
know.
Is that 2 hours of chill music?
Well, is that a
No, it's
is it
the
a different gun?
no, it's not a different gun. It's got
suppressed.
the aims, carry handle, all that.
But it's suppressed.
No, it is a different rail.
It's
So
got
they
a Glock.
No,
definitely
that's a different gun.
There's an
That's a
end
different
on
gun.
the top. Yeah. Anyways, let's go.
Well, actually, no. Wait. Sorry. To clear this up, in the beginning, she's using that gun while they're waiting on other parts to arrive. So this is
no, that was her friend. That was.
But that's her friend's gun. Am I crazy?
I don't remember if it was her friend's gun or hers, but the friend was borrowing it.
I think we are arguing over things that don't matter.
Yes, I completely agree.
Completely.
What matters more
has been pretty limited to more linear paths. I haven't been having to worry about all the side-by-sides, hidden targets, moving targets, that kind of stuff. So my main goal going into this match was honestly just not to DQ. USPSA has some weird rules regarding muzzle direction and the 180 on the range. And since some of the
So the 180 rule, I understand why people might see that as like, that's range theatrics. Okay? But the problem is there are people watching you.
There are people there.
At no point should you point a gun at them.
Exactly.
And
The other people watching and the ROs would like not have guns pointed.
Want to see my gun?
I say this as someone who is ROing most of the time at matches.
Yeah. So
I don't like to have guns aimed right at me.
I've seen some shit ROing. All right, like we don't want guns pointed at us.
Real.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so YouTube or not YouTube? Sorry, I got distracted by a comment. But the one time I saw a guy DQ for a 180 violation, it was a log run, so you have to shoot from a log as you're running down. He hops off the log and turns to the right into the RO who's next to him. Right. So I get that it's a little bit more different and dynamic than you would normally do, but still, he finger off the trigger, so he was following that. But he just instinctively you turn to get off the log, right? Because instead of just jumping off sideways, you look where you're going to jump. So he jumped off the log that way and then turned like back towards the RO. Just a bad day. A bad day for that
Maybe the
man.
RO shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, like shout out.
But he did not have to point at him though.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Is you could as long as you just keep the gun pointed downrange, you can look wherever the heck you want. So he could easily just jump down with the gun pointed downrange. So that's what I do. But yeah, there are some stages where they try to. There's 180 traps.
Yeah, that's not cool, and that is something like in the CRO class they explicitly say, hey, don't do this. It's not cool. People don't like this, even though people will still wind up doing it. It is something that is recommended against stage designers to do.
Right. I wonder if I can pull this up real fast. This is not a 180 trap, but this is just an area where I was basically at like 179 basically. Mm-hmm. So let me see if I can find this match real fast. So, here it is. Perfect. Okay. So this is really simple run, max points. You have 6 seconds to do it.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So that.
Oh my god!
Right there.
That turn is to try and get to, because technically, if you really want to go frame by frame, I probably did break the 180.
Oh yeah, you broke
right there.
Yeah, you broke it.
So, but that's the target, though. That's the target, right? So I'm standing at the back of the box. It's in front. When I'm aiming at it, that's like 179, 175, whatever it is.
Yeah, you broke 180 there, John.
Bro, I did. I don't know. That looks in line. That looks in line.
It's like right on the line. Like
it's right
so
on the line.
In a situation like this, whenever if I'm ended, so say here is the back of the berm, 180 is here. So if I'm finished facing this way, I'm gonna turn face this way and then unload.
That's a break.
That's borderline.
That's a break.
So what we're arguing
Pretty
is
borderline.
going over the berm is that.
Yeah. So what we're arguing is
over the berm is fine.
Right. It's just it went too far to the left.
Yeah. So the 180 is not just a.
Going back there to show a 180 trap showed that I violated 180.
Yeah, so the 180 is a whole plane, not just a line. So so you could go all the way up like that, that's gonna break 180, all the way down like that, that's gonna break 180, or like that, or that. So like pointing above the berm, that's fine. People do that in reloads all the time where here, the gun's pointed up like that. And pointing above the berm is fine. Now, certain specific ranges may have some range rules at that specific club or something like that, where they ask people not to do that. That is not a USPSA rule.
Okay. Thank you.
Courses have you moving backwards, the RO's running beside you, lots of things to be worried about. I just wanted to make sure that that's it. I wanted to be safe, I wanted to not DQ,
and that's a good mindset.
And I wanted to just finish the match and have one on my belt. But there's no reason to make things more complicated, right? It's overwhelming when you see a course and you try to figure out how the best way to approach it is. Look at the pathing that other people take, mimic those movements if you can. If you get put on first on the roster, just ask to be moved. People are generally pretty chill and just explain like, hey, I'm new to this. Can I not be first? So you can watch what other people are doing and learn from them. And you might see some differences in the course. I watch people do things a little different between each other. Figure out what you think works best for you, but really just have safe. But really just be fun. Oh my gosh. But really just have fun, be safe. I will say though, do not do what I did and focus on the pathing. I thought maybe if I could just memorize where I wanted to be ahead of time, that I hyper familiarized myself with the course, that once the timer went off and I went to run it, I would just be able to autopilot through because I had reviewed it so many times.
I mean, you can do that when you get to a high enough level where you know what you're doing. It's pretty much what you do. But if you've never done it before, you can't do that just because you don't have the experience.
I kind of really disagree with her because, like, to me, having a stage plan is like very, very important.
Yes.
If you don't, that's how you miss targets. That's how you.
It's having a stage plan is good, but just being able to have a complete memorization, just boom, 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 here, without thinking about it, that it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work to actually be able to get to that level. I'm not even to that level yet.
Here's the thing, Logan.
Just without thinking, just here.
Here's the thing, Logan. You cannot have a visual image of the course in your head.
You can't imagine it.
To get off the topic,
that's your disadvantage.
That front sight post, that mount is crooked, and I'm very angry.
I've noticed it.
She's not using the irons anyways. Quit whining.
It came loose.
Okay.
No one cares.
One, and it goes up.
Fight.
It's a direct blowback. There's no gas tube. It doesn't matter.
No, I know what he's saying, but
meant for a light or a QD point.
I know what he's saying.
It doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant for this gun.
Can we kick this guy?
Read it, John. Read it.
Things I read for $2.
Wait.
Read it.
I'm so sorry, Jesse. Please forgive us.
Huge ass for $1.99 says, "How grippy do you think she is?"
Like a retard with a crayon.
Hold on. Can I answer this one? I think she's probably grippier than John's stipple job.
Oh no! Not good.
That is not good.
Where is the clip? Where'd it go?
Shut it down.
Harder's better.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Anyways,
The 9 of
jeez.
the BLM movement, Josh, that's a great comment. I like how you can comment in GIFs on Rumble, though. That's cool.
That's awesome.
You can convince yourself all you want that you know the course and you know where everything is and how you want to do it. But once that timer goes off, you're going to quickly realize that that all goes out completely. So something that I do want to work on and was a takeaway for this course for me.
I don't know how you guys do stage in your minds, especially you, Logan. But for me, it's like, okay, this position, 3 targets, this position, 3 targets, that position, and then, you know, whatever I'm doing on the move. So I try and break it down into really small compartments as I'm going so that I don't miss anything. Right. So I'm like 3, 3, 3, 3, or whatever it happens to be for that. Right. And then if I need to take stuff on the move, you know, whatever it is for that specific stage. I try and make it very small and easy to digest. I'm not thinking about target number 11 once I start the stage. I'm thinking
that's kind of
3,
interesting because
there.
I'm pretty much the entire opposite. I think about the entire thing as a whole, and I just memorize each and every single position. Go from here.
It's different for everybody because I always think about it like target array. It's like, okay, shoot these 6 and then shoot these 6 targets, stuff like that.
Well, correct.
You know?
That's kind of how I do it. So it's by position though. It's like I need to get to this position and then have eliminated these targets and then move to the next position.
I usually just take it kind of one at a time and I just count the rounds out, and my main thing is trying to figure out where I'm going to reload and where I need to step to be able to get a picture of my next array.
You can just do what I do is you just shoot the targets until your gun goes empty and you're like, oh shit, on the clock, and you have to fucking reload it. That's my favorite way to do it.
So what you're talking about is like here's another bad example from John. So I come to the wrong position here. So the plan is to come to this spot up here so I can see all the targets on my walk, but instead I just go to here for some reason and I can't see the target. So my stage, like, I know where to go. I just go to the wrong spot. And then you do the awkward run with the gun pointed backwards because you're just hauling ass up stage. But yeah, so positioning and planning where you're supposed to go, very important.
Was target assessment.
Oh, sorry. I know I missed one. I have to go look at that now. Creek Shoe Operator for $1.99 says, Jarvis, start jorking it. Which is the first time I have ever uttered those words. Thank you very much, Creek Shoe Operator.
I want to work on practicing kind of taking in my surroundings and evaluating what I need to do from there rather than instead of memorizing what the course looks like. Not that you shouldn't familiarize yourself with the course, not that that doesn't help, but instead of being so fixated on what I had memorized in my head or what other people were doing and trying to follow that, I want to work towards being a better shooter that can progress through, scan the course as I'm going, make those calls.
I have a point to make.
Oh, sorry.
Is she talking about getting to the point as a shooter where you reactively engage all the targets perfectly?
I think this is coming from a place of people, when they are unconfident with a firearm, they pick up a gun and then they forget how their body works and they forget how to think because they're focused on holding a gun. So I have this thing and I need to not fuck up with it. So people do that, and I think that's what she's experiencing. Is she picks up the gun and then it's not really, she's not that confident. It's not second nature yet. So she picks up the gun and she goes, okay, what do I do now? And that's not like it's bad to do that. It's just an experience.
It's just
thing. And I see that a lot. It's inexperienced.
I'd say
it's the same thing that happens to like everybody when they first start. The moment the bully box goes off, you forget everything, and you're like, okay, I guess I just shoot the gun.
My gosh.
Yeah, the BP bully box. Yeah, it fucks with me every time.
Yeah.
OP999 is horny posting on main again.
Oh god.
Yeah.
We should
sound bad. Sound bad.
Sorry, I do want to listen to that comment in full again, because is she saying that she wants to progress as a point?
That's a base.
As a shooter to the point where she just takes courses reactively?
Other people were doing and trying to follow that. I want to work towards being a better shooter that can progress through, scan the course as I'm going, and make those calls as you move forward. And assess the environment.
But I think that's a trap, and that's not the point of USPSA. Like in a blind fire course, like the Ridge Racer competition or like a Sniper's Challenge match, that's
What's that?
Was that Logan?
I think you leveled up to 99.
What was that?
that's the point of those courses. But with a USPSA, like if you try and do a USPSA course reactively, you're going to get into traps and miss targets because they're designed to have some strategy with how you engage them. Not all courses. Some cases are just, you take them this way. There's only one way to do it, right? But sometimes there are, Lance, what did you call it? A noob trap where there's multiple ways to do it. And the simplest way is not always the fastest. But like, especially with complex courses, like there are all sorts of times where stage designers are just dicks and they just hide all sorts of silly targets and weird places and make you only be able to engage them from one spot. And you think you got them all, but no, there was a barrel and there was a popper hiding behind a barrel and you missed it because it was at position 3 and you can only engage it from position 3. So I think the idea of trying to go through a USPSA course blind might sound like a good skill to learn, but it's not about like tricking the course or beating the course. It's about like expressing your fundamental skills as a shooter as fast as possible. It's not that type of game. Always Tired Guy for $2 says, can someone get me the you did get this past the Rumble sensors, but it is a Niger word pass. I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm not sure. It's French.
It's a country in Africa.
Yeah, Nigeria, great place. Dogman Defense. I love the meme where it's like when Trump visits Nigeria and the people are just sweating, waiting for him to pronounce the name. Dogman Defense for $1 says, Loger getting a grinder notification, question mark?
Yeah, I don't know.
That wasn't me.
That cursed noise, I don't know what that was, but as soon as I heard it, my stream crashed. So I'm not sure what that was about.
The phone crashed because it couldn't handle RuneScape.
I think
all fucking streaming.
Yeah, I was to say, I think it was somebody else, but somebody, I think Spaz took the blame for that one. I think it was actually Arrow.
Oh, if so, that's funny. I didn't realize he was gone. Chair stream. Chair.
Baked potatoes are done, fellas.
Holy
yeah!
Yeah, baby.
Huge ass for $1.99 says, remember, boys, anything more than a handful is a waste. Thank you, sir. Darth Dildo for $1.99 says, that booty fart? Question mark?
Oh my god.
Gosh dang it. Moving on.
Environment, locating the unknowns. Being familiar with the course is great. Memorizing it was not. Little fun fact for you guys. I do have terrible anxiety, especially performance anxiety. Those of you who have been here
4 out of 5 guys.
super early on can probably even see a difference in my demeanor in the first few videos to what I do now. Just having a camera on made me super uncomfortable and forget how to gun completely. And that wasn't even real people looking at me while I was filming. So I am sure you guys can imagine that the idea of having an actual audience in a competition setting was terrifying to me. I was avoiding
So the most valuable thing you will ever do when you start trying to get into like shooting competitively is record your first match that you ever shot. You will go back and look at it months from now, and then you'll be able to see your improvement immediately. So as she's describing this, it's the most valuable thing you can do is just record the first match you shoot, regardless of how shitty you are. Also, post it online. Do it. Like, just
post it online.
Post your first match online
so that we can review it. No, I mean, so that you can get better.
Yeah.
This is purely my motives.
I think I have mine. Let me see if I can find it.
Post your match clips.
It'll be
Still
fun.
there.
That would be good for a stream, is to watch everybody's first match and then compare it to like their most recent match. That'd be fun.
I don't think I have my first match recorded. I don't think I used that card.
I
I
was talking with Logan about this on Saturday. I went back and watched my first match I ever shot, and it was the silliest thing in the world. I felt so confident in myself going up to a target and going bang, bang, and then moving to the next target slowly. Yeah, it was bad.
Oh yeah, when you watch people shoot and they're just like briskly walking through the course.
Yeah,
that's always
I have
fun.
to
You're
go
like,
to work
ooh,
today."
it feels so fast.
Oh yeah, I feel like I felt like it was flying like 100 miles an
That's what
hour.
she
It's like,
said.
no, dude, you were like the slowest guy.
Slowest guy here? No, not by. No.
I was
Spaz is
the
always the
slowest guy
slowest
there
guy in the
before
room.
the match even started. So.
Very slow.
Right now, mentally, like if I'm not shooting the gun super fast and running at full speed through a stage, I think I'm slow, and it's the worst mentality to have when I actually need to shoot the gun straight.
It is so painful.
Best mentality to have. Huge ass for 199 says a woman on the internet, probably a fed.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is she messaged me several months ago, and my response to her was, "Are you the new female psyop girl or something like that?" Just because you have like Luhan is like the high tier one, you have the mid grade, which is somebody else, and then I was like, "Oh, are you the new one that's popping around?" Because I saw her on other people's channels, and it's like you see people pop up on other people's channels somewhat unorganically, it seems from the outside, and you're like, "Oh, is this the new industry plant or something?"
The new one's Asian.
I know how it feels.
Are we talking about 297?
Oh god damn it! No.
Oh, actually, ooh, that's a
Let's
good
not
idea. We
talk
should
about
review
297
match footage.
I get sexually harassed
good
by
one.
her.
Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah.
Competitions for the longest time strictly out of fear of having people watching me. So if that sounds like you, you're not alone. I do just want to say, register. Just do it. Sign up for that course. Sign up for that competition. It is stressful as all hell.
Based.
The anticipation leading up to the match was an absolute nightmare. But once that beeper went off, your mind kind of runs blank for better or for worse. And by the time I hit my third stage, I was
engaged.
Bro, I was gonna say that's just Logan's autopilot mode right there. Blank. There's nothing in there.
Button, $20, I guess.
We settled in. Everyone was super cool and supportive as long as you're not being an ass and unsafe or anything like that. But at the end of the day, everyone was there to get better. There were people who were talking to me after the match and trying to give like pointers and things like that. People realized, they knew, they saw I was uncomfortable. There was no shame, no judgment. Everyone was just there to be supportive and become better shooters together. It's easy to me to say that afterwards, but I will say I am actually excited to sign up for another competition sometime in the near future here. I thought maybe it would be a one and done. And I'm sure going into it, I will have anxiety every time I talk to people who are regular competition shooters and who are very good competition shooters, and they still get nerves working up to it. But once you get it out of your head that it's a competition and worry more about it's a training exercise, it's a...
So I have the opposite approach to it. I do not believe that the matches themselves are particularly effective at training skills. I think a lot of that, the vast majority of that, happens in between the matches in your dry fire and in your actual training. That's where you actually get
100%.
better. For instance, I know lots of shooters who only shoot at matches. And they don't really progress at all. The people who dry fire and practice like they're going to be shooting a match, they actually improve, right? So the matches themselves are helpful for a lot of things, movement, positioning, the pressure element as well. I think there's a lot of good things you can get out of a match. But if it comes down to training or going to a match, just train like you're going to go to a match, especially if you're in an area where you're limited in options, where maybe it's out of your price range. If you can't spend the extra $30 in gas, the 6 hours in time, the $30 for the match fee, the ammunition, whatever it might be, take that time to do dry fire and train like you're going to a match and try to involve elements of that in your training, and you're still going to make improvements. Obviously, again, the holistic approach, combining both of those things together, is going to be the most helpful for your development as a shooter, in my opinion.
True. I agree.
True words never spoken.
False.
a learning opportunity.
Dang it, who said that? Get him out of here.
No, wait,
Ruined it.
wait. I'll be good.
Well, so
wait.
This is how I've heard it explained too. The match is a check on how your training is going, basically. The match will expose your fundamentals because you're going to have the extra pressure. You're going to have more targets. You're going to have harder targets than you usually have in training, especially if you're like, I'm fantastic. I shoot very fast at 5 yards at open targets. And they're like, well, guess what, buddy? You're shooting at 20 yards on a partial with a no shoot in front of it, right? At speed, at movement, through a little port where you have to bend down to shoot through it. It's like, well, now it's a much more difficult. So I think that training is the check, and that, I think that the matches are the check to see how your training is actually paying off.
It becomes so much better to run through. I recommend it. I do. Just bite the bullet, register. But the TLDR for this whole ordeal here is kind of just, I've got to practice movement. I knew that. I haven't really.
Josh for $5 says panel need more diversity. Oh wait, Baz is our token queer. That's true. We have.
No.
A second, he goes. True. Wait a minute.
True. Wait a minute. No, they almost got another end tower.
No,
I had the means to set up courses like this to practice, but that is something that I do plan on working on and trying to do more. Hell, I might just assign random targets throughout my house and dry fire through, just to kind of.
Yeah. Washing machine.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
He's got the dry fire targets.
I got a couple of rays in the room, so they're around here.
Get more comfortable with not linear movement. But yeah, like I said, it did wind up being super fun despite my anxiety and my absolute terrible performance. I don't necessarily care to compete, but I do think it's a great way to reflect on the skills that you might want to develop more and kind of self-assess where you are as a shooter. I recommend doing at least one.
100%, totally agree with her. And the you can lie to yourself about how good of a shooter you are if there's nothing to compare it to. So people often say, don't compare yourself to other people. Like, if you actually want to be good, you should. Good compared to what, right? Good compared to somebody who's never shot before, not really that interesting. Good to people who are active in the competition scene, very important, right? So you'll see a lot of people who are like, I shot my whole life, sonny. And it's like,
I'll tell you what.
Well, that doesn't mean anything, though, right? Or I was a marksman certified in the military in 2003. Right. It's like,
that doesn't mean anything.
Well, then, it's not going to carry you through a USPSA match. It's just not. Bulge Deep in Vagina says, she's kind of cutie patootie. Thank you very much. That's nice. Nice way to end off the video.
I did want to say one more thing here. We started this by saying we need to check on the homies. Lost Arrow, buddy, you good? He's quiet.
What's going on?
They killed him.
You think I'm gonna kill myself? What the fuck?
You're down hard.
What? Hard down?
Bro.
Down hard or hardly down, am I right?
Damn. Gosh, speaking of downs.
You are down bad.
Am I missing something? Is there a joke I'm unaware of?
They hate him, man, for fucking voicing his opinion, bro.
Make fun of him.
Yeah, he's been.
Oh, bro, he's in the chat. Oh, duh.
Yeah, he's been horny posting.
Honestly, yeah. See,
there's some other dudes that are doing that way more. Oh my.
They're doing horny posting quite well in the chat. I'll have you know they're quite proficient at it. Always Tired Guy for $2 says, have you seen the new Nye Gear Prism Optic? Looks cool. I will have to look up the new Nye Gear Prism Optic. Thank you very much.
Here's my
for the
question: Do they horny post more when this girl's on, or do they horny post more when Hop is on?
I was gonna say
posting. It's like just turning out
100%. No question. It's Hop.
It's Hop. It's Hop. All right. I don't know if there's anything else at the end of this video.
But that's all I had for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. And I hope to maybe have better progress for you guys on how I develop as a tactical shooter. We'll see. But thanks so much for watching.
Wholesome ending to the video.
Bye-bye.
Liked and subscribed.
What?
Check
it was
out
a happy
Budak
ending.
Down below.
Gosh dang it, Logan. Richard, you're like my kids, dude. I call my kids all 3 names before I get to their correct name. I'm like, Bruce, Sarah, Alex. Gosh dang it.
Richard Joseph
Go
Watson,
check out
Hitchcraft.
Boondock Ballistician. Give the video a like and follow if interested in such content so you can see her development as a shooter.
The council will watch her development with great interest.
We will watch her career with great interest. All right, homies. I think that's a wrap on tonight. We were going to talk about something else, but we do not have time. As of time, we have none. We have no time.
Oh gosh, these guys.
Please,
They're in the
no.
title and we didn't even get to them.
Please no, dude.
This will have to be saved for Wednesday.
The Barrett of
We started off with epic trailers. We're ending with epic trailers, gentlemen.
Oh my word! Did he send the We Were Soldiers music?
We Were Soldiers and shit.
Sorry, guys, you were not cool enough to use that music.
Bruh.
Oh.
Whoa!
It's okay though.
Point it right at him.
Yeah.
Point it right at him.
And that was
Jim. Trust me.
Is that
Jim?
Is that the reason why they have those silly 180 rules in USPSA?
Pretty much.
Also, for some reason they only have one competitor on the stage at a time. Like weird.
He was on
Yeah.
those.
They should just run them all.
Yeah, true. The cameraman never gets hit. True.
Cameraman never dies.
All right,
What
homies.
the
Well,
fuck did we just watch?
bro, that
Like,
that is Wagunda coming soon. They have lots of really stimulating content on their channel.
Wow.
What the?
Training value.
I see the target. I see the target demographic. I can see
ARP.
ARP.
It's Wagunda, my bro.
Please,
don't you wanna?
I'm too.
Don't you want to sign up for Wagunda, my bro?
Dude.
Oh, I might have to look into this a little bit further because I think I recognized that indoor range.
We do not have time for that tonight, unfortunately, as we are 3.5 hours deep in a live stream. So we should probably call it there. So, but before we go, I want to thank each. Gosh dang it, you guys just don't stop. Dogman Defense for $1 says, "Bro, she the special forces." Very nice. Thank you very much, Dogman Defense. I'm glad you're spending your rewards cash over there on things that are very edifying. And Huge Ass, gosh dang it, for $1.99 says, "Flick the bean."
Oh my
God! What a way to end the stream. Gosh dang it!
Yeah, never coming on stream, man. Not after this.
How much money have you made off of people horny posting?
A lot.
2.
Apparently, you just have Hop or
I
a
need about
female
3
on, and it's just horny posting, I guess. So, with that, before we get out of here, gentlemen, thank you all very much for joining us. Do you have anything you want to shout out, call out, or say before we get out of here? Starting with Jake.
I just want to shout out Shretchup. I don't know if you guys remember the Shret ketchup. It's a easy squirt kinds. It was really cool back in the day.
That's gonna get people in the comments.
Shrek Easy Squirt.
Shretchup. Yeah, heck yeah. You're not going to stop horny posting with something like that. Jeez.
Real.
Spaz guy, what do you got going on, homie?
Drinking.
It hurt. Drinking. Staying home.
Guys, where video?
Enjoying my life.
Where video on the fucking upper? Where is the Recce Rifle video you promised me? You promised all of us. Where is it?
It'd be nice.
The number span.
Where's the Recce Rifle video?
On.
I really want to see it.
It'll be
Bro, how did they
posted
get that up?
eventually. It's on the ground. I've personal issues, so it'll be done when it's done.
True.
Okay.
Well, we hope those personal issues go well, bro. And we're
Take
all
your
here
time,
to talk.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, me too.
Richard, dropping bombs and banging moms. How's your day going? You ready to get on out of here?
Yep, this has been an interesting one. Had a good time. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And go subscribe to the second channel if you're not subscribed. You should be.
You're on here watching. You should be subscribing, of course. Duh.
Yeah.
Dank, what do you got going on, good sir? The real John, some would say.
Nothing at all.
Just straight
Hey.
thugging it.
Just mogging the chat. Lance, Weekend Gunner, check him out. He has apparently these things you can wear to not be naked, which you could purchase from a website.
Whoa!
Pick them up.
Too bad they're never an enemy.
Beyond that, I don't really have anything else to share. Just go sign up for a USPSA match. Go shoot.
There you go. Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Get into a match. Start shooting USPSA or PCSL. Look around.
Boney Maloney, what do you got, homie? You former SFAG.
What's up, Kings? Not much. Had a good time. Video's gonna come out soon about why the carry handle's better than the Hydra mount. Look forward to it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Whoa, what do we got here?
Oh,
Somebody's-
yeah.
This shit looks pretty good. I might
I
pick
see
it
it.
up.
Hey, that's
I appreciate
pointed
the
that out
plug.
on Discord
Thank you.
twice. I said, "Gotta save on
Yeah.
the page."
I
Out of
do
stock,
have
I
a
need-
question.
Modern Warfare 2 fall camo. That's what I need.
Yes.
I like the
Lance.
C-block
Give me
urban
that.
camo a lot.
Lance, what
Yeah.
ended up winning the poll the other day? Because I know that it was a split decision. So what's the new pattern?
You asked for both. Both are coming.
All right.
Let's
Oh, not both.
Super babe.
That's what it's all about. Ooh.
That's what we like to hear.
I appreciate
Sorry,
it.
Bones.
Get it
I was very distracted, Bones. What was your call out?
I was just saying the next video that's gonna come out.
Logan!
Bye.
No.
Damn.
You know,
Rip.
Bang! It just
I
comes
guess
back
that's
to
it.
him just dead on
Yeah,
the chair.
Fucking fail my guy post.
After we say
I guess
check on your
that's it.
homies, somebody dies on the live stream. Rough.
I'm gonna do. This is my
Rough
13th
day.
reason.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Puts a YouTube link in his death memo.
Yep.
Yeah, Memorial Day.
Memo.
Oh, happy Memorial Day, guys.
Oh, the big wiener.
Got, Dank has got the big wiener. Unbelievable. Look at
Nice.
that. That's cool.
That's pretty average size.
Let's go.
That's average size.
Yeah, that's average size right there.
Some might call that above average. Too much,
True.
even.
Logan, what do you got going on?
Got Area 1 coming up down in Boise, coming up next week. That'll be on the it'll be June 5th through the 8th. Looking forward to that. So hopefully I'll do better than I did at the Washington State match. So gonna be practicing and getting better.
I expect a full feature video, Logan.
Yeah, so
1 hour,
A
none
creature
fancy
Christian-
style.
Christian Sailor put up that video today of his stage runs. I think it was intentionally
good.
mocking you, to be honest. It was pretty rough.
Calling me out specifically, of course.
I
am
think it was a
featured in that
response.
video, actually.
He is featured in the video. I got a good screenshot of him.
Oh,
Let's
good.
see.
There's also a great picture of Logan floating around
Oh,
on
yeah.
the interwebs.
Oh,
If I could-
yeah.
Oh,
I could
yes.
pull that up real
The-
fast. And
The,
Yes.
the derp photo from the
Where is it?
PCSL nets.
I
Where
gotta
they're-
see it. I
Jamie, pull
really
that
wanna
up.
see it.
gosh dang it, where is it?
It's an excellent derp
In the
photo.
chat.
I know it's in the it's in the chat.
Yo.
Hey guys, I think it's on the Discord.
Hey, Vintage showed up to finish the end tower.
Did he really?
Oh my
goodness.
Unbelievable.
Incredibly
guy.
based.
Logan sucks. Come on, do it. Do it now.
Yeah, shook and shooting. Come on, do it right now.
I was reminded about this derp photo from derp photo that Lance shared on his Instagram a while back, and I finally found the derp photo today.
I do have.
Was it in competition shooting or was it in?
It was
No,
in
it was
VC.
in general.
No, I posted in general.
Oh,
I
was
posted
it
in
in
the
VC
VC chat.
All right,
I'll send
I'm joining. I'm joining the VC chat.
Uh-oh.
Quiet, guys.
Oh
Don't talk.
no.
Oh no,
worry
you
about
don't
it.
have to do that. You can just open the chat without.
I found
Yeah,
it
VC.
in the VC chat.
All right, there you
Tell
go.
me what I don't have to do. My gosh.
I was just
why
gonna
can't-
DM it to
Why
you.
can't I select it? Why can't I select?
I'll
the
just
message?
DM it to you.
I'm a boomer. I'm sorry, guys.
My
I didn't mean to
goodness.
push that. Bye, guys.
Photo upload.
Dogman Defense
Sent.
on Rumble for $1 simply says N. Dogman Defense
Ah.
for another $1 on Rumble says 1v1 me at Black Creek, Logan. I don't know what that means.
It's Creek that's black.
Code for something.
Yeah.
I guess.
was
Save
rivers and
that.
shit.
Pick that up. Click here. Drag. My gosh.
Hacker man.
If only I paid someone to do this for me.
Oh, really?
Too busy dropping bombs and banging moms.
Yeah.
True. There it is.
Oh my
Dirt
goodness!
photo,
Look
yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did.
He puckered all.
That's amazing.
Peak performance.
Award better, Logan or that chick from
You-
the
That's
last
like-
of the show?
Bro, you may not like it, ladies, but this is what peak male performance looks like.
Who wore it better, Logan or a melted candle?
Oh, ouch.
Oh man,
Bro.
Yes, Dogman, I am in Idaho.
Why?
Stay
Fine.
safe.
I'm in North Idaho specifically.
Here's
There it is. Yeah.
Behind Christian Sailor. Just the way he
Oh,
likes
what a
it.
unit!
Something like that.
Is that Shrek?
Yeah. The guy in green is not Siler. Siler's in front of
Honestly-
him.
Honestly, I think that Logan and Lance just like to shoot USPSA because it's fun dress up and they get to feel all cute with their belt. Get to go run around with other guys, time them even, see who finishes first.
Whoa.
Oh,
Hold up.
He's on to us.
Hold
He's on to us. Oh god.
Why are gun guys so gay?
They're on to us.
Why are they so gay?
You guys know we're not making fun of Boondock Vintage. We're just using her video as a vehicle to discuss USPSA and competition shooting. Vintage.
I made fun of
Logan, did we already do you?
Yes.
Raising.
That's how the dirt photo got brought up.
I did.
Okay,
Y'all did,
perfect.
yeah.
Master of Jelking, also known as the Weekend Gunner is Gay or Lost Arrow. What do you got coming up? What do you want to shout out? Anything you want to say before we get on out of here?
Was the baked potato good?
I don't got shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Check on the homies.
Check out
I
the
guess.
homies, bro.
I'm more offended that y'all motherfuckers thought I was gonna kill myself on stream, which is totally on track. Totally on track. I would do that, but like still.
He's down there.
It's just the idea that hurts you a little bit. No, I get it. I get it.
Literally me.
All right. So I have
Mr. Focus, what are you doing?
I have a full day of filming and shooting tomorrow. I have a match on Thursday. I have a match on Saturday. I have a classifier the week after that. So there's a video that's already up and it's pending monetization that'll be up in hopefully tomorrow, I guess, supposedly while I'm out shooting. So there's more videos, there's more streams to come. Bad phrasing again, but we're used to it at this point. That's what she said. But with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. God bless.
Man, these people took my kids from me, then they closed my bank account.